And good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to day number 3 of the 2023 Firecracker Tournament live from Rapid City, South Dakota. We begin the day, our first of 5 broadcasts, with the Rocky Mountain Lobos from Fort Collins, Colorado, taking on the Premier West team from Arvada in the Denver suburban region. We're glad to have you with us, Mike Fell, joined by Oliver Fell. I'll be broadcasting the first 2 games of today. Oliver will have the play-by-play for games 3, 4, and 5. Let's take a look at our schedule that we'll be bringing you with Hard Hats TV throughout our broadcast day, culminating in that amazing fireworks display that we will have about 30 minutes after the post 22 Missoula game tonight. The schedule looks this way as we're getting ready to go in a matter of moments. It'll be a battle of Front Range Colorado rivals, the Premier West team against the Rocky Mountain Lobos. That is going to start in a matter of moments. Then at 11:30, the Expos coming off a big win over the 320 Stars. They will take on the Rocky Mountain Lobos at 11:30. So if you're a Lobos fan, you'll get to enjoy games back to back on Hard Hats TV. And then the games get really big as we move through the day, especially the game at 4:30. Oliver Fell will have the play-by-play of games 3, 4, and 5 today. It'll be the 2-0 Pueblo Azteca team, serious contenders here for the Firecracker title. They'll be taking on the Pinnacle Bank Papillion Post 32 team in a rematch of a game played yesterday morning. Then at 4:30, the big showdown. The 2-0 Pueblo Azteca team, which will either be 3-0 and entering that game at 4:30 or 2-1, will take on the 2-0 next level team who is ranked in the top 20 nationally that has come all the way over 1,500 miles away from Asheville, North Carolina to be here. It'll be Pueblo Azteca versus next level at 4:30. And then the post 22 Hard Hats will try to get a season sweep over the Missoula Mavericks as they face Missoula for a second time this year, and they had a win over Missoula in Billings back in early May. They'll try to beat them again as they host Missoula in front of a packed house tonight for fireworks night at the Firecracker tournament. That game's estimated first pitch time is 7 p.m. So that's a look at our schedule. The Lobos come in with a record of 1-1. They definitely gave post 22 a battle last night, but they came up short, falling 7-5 to the Hard Hats. And the Rocky Mountain Lobos have a win over Missoula, 8-2 in the tournament opener, and they come in 1-1. They can sure help their own cause if they could earn a doubleheader sweep this morning against Premier West and the Expos. They'd really be right back in the thick of this tournament at 3-1. But they need to win both of these games to retain any hopes of finishing first, second, or third. You would have to think. And as far as the Premier West team from the Denver, Colorado area, coached by Derek Hines. The Premier West team, they've had a tough go so far. They're hoping the third day is the charm and that things turn around. Premier West lost 10-3 to the post 22 Hard Hats on Friday night in a game we had for you. Of course, we have had all the games for you here from the Firecracker tournament. Then Premier West hung tough with Next Level, the great team from North Carolina, but fell in a 5-run decision, 9-4 in 7 innings. Then Premier West showed what they were all about. They were down 10-0 to the Missoula Mavericks from Montana yesterday afternoon. They rallied, pulled to within 1 at 10-9, but Missoula was able to tack on 2 big insurance runs and hang on for a 12-9 victory. So Premier West, they've represented themselves well, but they just have been unable to find the win column. They're hoping that changes here as they take on the 1-1 Rocky Mountain Lobos. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Mike Fell. We're happy to have you with us on a gorgeous and, dare I say, borderline hot day for baseball. Temperatures expected at 86 degrees for a high temperature. We're glad you're with us. Anybody tuning in from the Centennial State of Colorado, we're glad to have you aboard. Oliver Fell, the voice of Hard Hats TV, his hometown is Centennial, Colorado. He's born and bred in Colorado. You would have to say, not me. I was born and bred in Nebraska. Don't hold that against me as we get ready to go here with the Lobos and Premier West getting ready to play in a matter of moments. We'll give you now the starting lineups for these two ball clubs. First, we'll look at Premier West. Premier West will lead off. We'll have Toby Trujillo, the second baseman. Batting second for Premier West, right fielder Dalton Berg. Hitting third in the lineup, it's Mateo Rousey, the third baseman. Batting cleanup and playing center, it's Nate Hutchinson. The number 5 hitter is designated hitter Noah Castillo. Or is that Noah Carrillo? Carrillo, thank you. Noah Carrillo. Batting 6, the starter on Friday night for Premier West against Post 22 at shortstop Kenji Bray. Hitting 7th in the lineup for Coach Barfinger, it's first baseman Tony DiRienzo. Batting 8th, playing catcher Nolan Engel. And hitting 9th, it's left fielder Brock Lopez. The starting pitcher for Premier West is Garrett Neiman, and we will begin the game. I'll get to the lineups for Rocky Mountain as we move along. Here comes the first pitch of the day. Day number 3 is underway with a pitch outside for a ball. We are going to have a lot of action coming your way, including fireworks before we're all done today on Hard Hats TV. Second pitch is outside for a ball. Scoreboard operator yet to touch any buttons. But did it count as 2? No, not you, Oliver. The scoreboard operator in the booth two doors down from us. I think that's a song. No, I think it's 3 doors down. It's the song by Dolly Parton. Here comes the next pitch, and that is inside for a ball. Count is 3-1 to Toby Trujillo. Toby, a leadoff hitter for the Rocky Mountain Lobos. Oh, and he draws a walk. Actually, that's Nate Eliason that drew the walk, and we got thrown a little bit of a curveball. Actually, the home team and the road team were actually flipped from when we put everything together in our scorebook. So the Rocky Mountain Lobos have their leadoff hitter aboard. Bradley Millette is the starting pitcher. No, we were just going off what they told us, Oliver.
Well, I know, but that was the first time they've been wrong.
Okay, here comes a stolen base attempt, and Nate Eliason is in there safely with a stolen base. And so very quickly, the 1-1, currently standing at 4th place in this 8-team field, Rocky Mountain Lobos, they are in position to get on the board first as Nate Eliason is at second base with nobody out here in the top half of the first inning. The Rocky Mountain Lobos starting lineup, Nate Eliason will lead off. Kieran Lowing, who is at the plate now, he is lying. He is the number 2 hitter. Pitch is over for a strike to Lowing, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Batting third baseman Phoenix West. Hitting 4th, starting pitcher today, Bradley Millette. Hitting 5th for Rocky Mountain High School, it is Brady Hall, the shortstop. Batting 6th, it's Aiden Nelson. And that's strike 3, and Kieran Lawing is retired for the first out of the game. Batting 7th, Ben Kozowski, the first baseman. Batting 8th, it's right fielder Walker Tolpa. And batting 9th, Rowan Cachel. So for Rocky Mountain, that's Eliason, Lawing, West, Millette, Hall, Nelson, Kachowski, Tolpa, and Kachel, with Bradley Millette pitching. And Rocky Mountain is the visitors in this game. Premier West is the home team. One on and one out. Now batting, it's Phoenix West. Pitch to Phoenix is outside for a ball. Phoenix West. We're talking, Oliver and I were discussing Phoenix's name. We thought maybe there's a Phoenix West High School. Oliver is an Arizona State Sun Devil, and he affirmed that there is no Phoenix West High School, at least not yet.
Yeah.
The ball is fouled out of play. The count goes to 2-1. I had a flashback to American West Airlines, if you remember that airline. It used to have its hub in Phoenix. And the count is now 2-1 to Phoenix West. Does anyone remember Vanguard Airlines or Republic Airlines, I wonder? There's a pitch outside, or Eastern Airlines. Those are all now defunct airlines that I have flown on in my lifetime. Count is 2 strikes. One man on at second. That's Nate Eliason. He reached on a walk and a stolen base. We're glad to have you with us this morning here on Hard Hats TV. Kick back, relax. It's a beautiful and warm, dare I say, hot Sunday morning here in Rapid City. Elevation over 3,000 feet here in Rapid. Sun pounds down pretty strong.
Now we got to be careful about saying hot. This is Pueblo, or not. This is Pueblo. This is talking about. I mean, Fort Collins can get pretty hot in the summer. This is a pretty similar climate, but it's barely 85.
Okay.
As a max today, just for the record.
It's hot compared to what people in Rapid City have been used to lately.
Yeah, we're a little more northern than the rest of Colorado for both these teams, but. It's warm. I don't know if I'd border on hot. It will be hot for Pueblo's Matt Casillas, who always wears a hoodie underneath his jersey. We'll see if the Hooded Bandit is ready to perform under the heat.
Thanks, Oliver. Garrett Neiman is the pitcher for Premier West. He's trying to get out of trouble here. The count is full. Here comes the payoff pitch to Phoenix West. And that ball is struck down the line, and it is out of play just over the bullpen fence down the left field line. Last night, the Post 22 Hard Hats had back-to-back home runs, and what a big night it was for Hard Hats baseball. The Hard Hats sit atop the standings this morning in the Firecracker tournament. They're 3-0, a half game ahead of next level in Pueblo Azteca. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3 and a tag out to Phoenix West, and that's back-to-back strikeouts for Garrett Neiman, the starter for Premier West. And now here comes Bradley Millette with a chance to help his own cause as a starting pitcher in this ball game. He steps into the batter's box, trying to bring home Nate Eliason, who remains at second base. Garrett Neiman fires a pitch down central, over for strike 1. Neiman, after giving up a walk the first at-bat of this game and of this inning, has been throwing strikes consistently here in the early going. Here comes the pitch from Garrett. That ball is fouled away. And there is one kid here to chase down the foul balls. And this is a golden opportunity for money, because they pay you the same at the early morning game as they do tonight, when there will probably be about 50 kids chasing foul balls. Count is now 0-2 to Bradley Millette. And that next pitch is just outside for a ball. Rocky Mountain Lobos trying to get on the board first here in the top half of the first inning. We're just underway. Happy to have you along here on Hard Hats TV. Give us a like if you like our broadcast this morning. Ball is fouled back. The good thing about giving us a like, it's not a matter of affirmation for our network or our broadcasters. It's just a matter of putting the broadcast into more people's searches so that more people can find the game. The more likes, the more it gets discovered on the net. That's how these algorithm rhythms work. Here comes the pitch, and it's outside for a ball. Count now evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bradley Millette trying to change the scoreboard, which currently reads 0-0. Garrett Neiman looks back to second base, now fires home, and that pitch is inside for a ball, and the count goes full. For the second consecutive at-bat, the Rocky Mountain Lobos have pushed starter Garrett Neiman to the limit with a 3-2 count. Let's see who wins this battle. Neiman, the right-hander, looks back to second, kicks, fires, and that ball is struck hard, and it is through to center field. That'll score a run, and it's 1-0 Rocky Mountain. Bradley Millette is able to bring home Nate Eliason from first base with an RBI single to center field, and just like that, it is a 1-0 game. The previous time there was a 3-2 count between Garrett Neiman and the Rocky Mountain Lobos hitter. Neiman won the battle. This time it was Bradley Millette helping his own cause, giving himself the lead as the starting pitcher for Rocky Mountain, and the Lobos lead 1-0. So now there are 2 out. First pitch to Brady Hall is a swing and a miss. Brady had a magnificent game yesterday against the Hardhats. He was an impressive 4 for 4. Here comes the next pitch from Garrett Neiman. It's out. It's over for strike 2.
Yeah, he went 4 for 4 last night. I mean, those Hardheads pitchers, they struck out a ton. River Walters, Hayden Lighty, both had a great game. But Brady Hall, the thorn in their side, putting in 4 runs in their comeback effort after being down 7-1 in the third.
Brady Hall smashes the ball to center field. That's another base hit. Brady Hall continues his hot-hitting ways here in Rapid City at the Firecracker tournament. And now Aiden Nelson will come to bat. Nelson, the number 6 hitter, he's the catcher. Rocky Mountain able to play to run and put 2 men on all with 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. Rocky Mountain leads Premier West from Arvada, Colorado, 1-0. Mike Fell, Oliver Fell with you on a Sunday morning. Enjoying some sports on a Sunday morning. Hope you've had a good experience at church or in prayer or at Mass, wherever you may be this morning. Here comes a pitch, and that's a swing and a miss by Aiden Nelson. Count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 outs, 2 on. Lobos leading 1-0. Garrett Neiman throwing quite a few pitches here in the top half of the first inning. Unofficially, I've got his pitch count somewhere around 25. Here comes the pitch, and the ball is hit in the middle. It's knocked down, and now it's through. And that's going to score a run. The Lobos lead 2-0 as Aiden Nelson hits a ball up the middle and scores Bradley Millette, and it's 2-0 Rocky Mountain. Here in the top half of the first inning, Brady Hall is at second, and the Lobos, with an impressive 2-out rally, have been able to strike for multiple runs against Premier West starter Garrett Neiman here in the early going in Rapid City. The Rocky Mountain Lobos, 1-1 in the tournament. They defeated Pinnacle Bank Friday. They fell to the Post 22 Hardhats last night. They have a doubleheader this morning and early this afternoon. I'll have the call on both of these games. Lobos trying to get to 3-1, and if they could do that, they will be in the thick of things the rest of the way. They cannot afford a split of their doubleheader today against Premier West and then the Expos, which is the farm team for the Post 22 Hard Hats. Here comes the pitch, and that pitch is outside for a ball. Count is 1-1 to Ben Kukowski. Ben Kozowski, he featured a lot of eye black. I can't tell if he has the eye black going. I bet he does. But he is a left-handed hitter, so his back is to us at the moment. Pitch from Garrett Neiman is outside for a ball. Count is at 2-1. Lobos 2, Premier West yet to come up to bat. It's been a pretty long top of the first inning. You wonder if some of these games will go long today and if we're going to have a really late fireworks display. There's a wild pitch, and the runners will advance. Going from second to third is Brady Hall. Aiden Nelson trots from first to second, and now Kozowski has a 3-1 count to work with and a chance to really break this game wide open almost as soon as it begins.
Yeah, something to note there. You were talking about how late this fireworks show might happen. You can't really complain about that here. The nights go really long here in Rapid City this far north during the summer. So the darker it is, the better to see those fireworks.
That's an outstanding point there, Oliver. And you know what? It's the 4th of July weekend. Go with it. You know there will not be any bedtime for the kiddos tonight. Here at Fitzgerald Stadium, we will have a great time. Oh, the breakfast pizza from Pizza Ranch has arrived, Oliver. I might be sending you that way in an inning or two. Glad to have you with us at the Post 22 American Legion Firecracker Tournament. Ball is hit out of play for a foul ball, and now the count has gone full for the third time in this top of the first inning. Garrett Neiman and his opposing hitter for Rocky Mountain have pushed the count to 3-2. Here comes Neiman's payoff pitch. It's outside for ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Ben Kozowski draws a bases loaded walk. And now Walker Tolpa will come up with the bases loaded with a chance to break this game wide open in favor of the Lobos. Premier West is yet to come to bat. They trail 2-0. They're 0-3 in this tournament. It's a big moment here. Pitch is outside for a ball. It's hard to talk about a game being blown wide open when one of the teams is yet to even step into the batter's box. But that's what we're dealing with here. Here comes the pitch. That's a swing and a miss by Tolpa. And now Garrett Neiman has Walker Tolpa with his back against the wall with check that. It's a 1-1 count. I thought it was an 0-2 count.
Well, something should be noted here about Garrett Neiman. He started the game
Oh, sorry to interrupt, but that is a hit by pitch. Tolpa is hit on the back, and that will score a run to make it 3-0 in favor of the Rocky Mountain Lobos. And now Rowan Cachel, the number 9 hitter, will come up to bat with the bases loaded and 2 outs. And after back-to-back strikeouts on the number 2 and 3 hitters, Lawing and West, the Lobos have just simply been untouchable, and they have been able to really extend this lead 3-0. And that first pitch from Neiman to Cachel was a strike. Go ahead, Oliver.
Yeah, I might say that Garrett Neiman, he was the pitcher yesterday in the Missoula game where he got jumped all over for 7 earned runs through the first 2 innings. He's had a really rough go at it here, but they decided to give him the faith, put him back out there for game number 2. Unfortunately, it might be happening again.
The Hard Hats, or rather the Lobos, up 3-0, bases loaded. It's a high pitch inside for a ball. The Lobos have batted around here in the first inning. All 9 hitters coming to the plate. It's 3-0. That is somewhat close, especially in the top of the first. It's a big at bat here. Cachel waits for the pitch, and that ball is low and outside for ball 3. And now Rowan getting a lot of encouragement from his fellow Wolfpack, his Lobos. Waits for the 3-1 offering from Neiman, and that pitch is high and inside, ball 4, and it's a 4-0 game as Aiden Nelson comes home from third base on that base on balls. And now Koskowski advances to third base. Tolpa goes to second. And Nate Eliason, who led off this game and led off this inning with a walk and was the first run to score today, will now come to the plate with the bases loaded. So things going from bad to worse with this 2-out rally. 6 consecutive Lobos have reached base against starting pitcher Garrett Neiman. Here comes Neiman's pitch. Ball is hit hard, and it is hit to left field, and it will be caught. No, it is not caught. It goes into the corner. 1 run scores, 2 runs scores, and 3 runs score. And sliding in is Nate Eliason with a bases clearing 3-run triple to break this game wide open. It is 7-0 in favor of the Lobos from Fort Collins, Colorado.
Can't seem to get this final out. Something should be noted. The Lobos need to keep their foot on the pedal. You might be thinking, oh, well, they're up by a lot. This Premier West team came back. They were down 10-0 against Missoula through 2 innings. They came back in the third and the fourth, and they put up 9 runs to get right to the doorstep of that comeback. 7 runs is not a safe lead against this team.
Great observation there, Oliver. The Lobos very happy at 7-0, and now we've got a hit by pitch on Kieran Lawing. And there are runners at the corners, still 2 outs. And Garrett Neiman just really languishing here in the top half of the first inning. He has thrown a lot of pitches, and it has definitely been a very tough start for Garrett Neiman for Premier West as the score stands 7-0 in favor of the Rocky Mountain Lobos, who are still very much a part of the race here to try to win this tournament. They need a sweep today to get to 3-1, and then you never know. Phoenix West is now the hitter. Phoenix drills the ball to left field. It's going to be playable and caught in left field for the 3rd and final out. So that will be it for the Rocky Mountain Lobos, who send 12 players to the plate. An impressive opening half inning for the Rocky Mountain Lobos. They score a total of 7 runs on 4 hits. There were no errors, and there were 2 men left on base. Through a half inning of play as we start game 1 of our 5-game showcase here in day 3 of the Firecracker tournament in Rapid City. It's the Rocky Mountain Lobos 7 and Premier West coming up. This is Hard Hats TV.
Yeah, plenty of good hitting there. That ties the most runs allowed in an inning for Premier West, though that was second inning against Missoula where 7 runs came across. Neiman was also the pitcher for most of that inning before A.J. Mata, who ended up pitching somewhere near 110 pitches yesterday, came in and relieved him. They nearly made that comeback from 10-0 down. It took Premier West a minute, but their offense is capable of something like that. It should also be noted that this is not the first time a lot of these Premier West players have faced this Rocky Mountain team. During the high school season, several of these Premier West players from the Denver area, such as Max Trujillo from Golden, you've got A.J. Mata from Arvada West, you've got Noah Engel from Brighton, Dimitri Mestikow from Broomfield, and then even Garrett Neiman from Rock Canyon. Those are all players who play at the 4A level in the high school, in Chassa High School baseball. They likely all have played this Rocky Mountain Lobos team at some point.
Thanks for that perspective. And Oliver, a little bit about your background. You started the Grandview High School sportscasting program from scratch, built it up, and you covered a lot of Grandview Wolves games, and it was pretty neat. You had a chance to see future SEC players at that 5A level. There's a pitch outside for a strike.
We had one.
Yes, you did.
And we played against a Notre Dame pitcher, too.
And Tennessee was in the College World Series this year. There's the ball hit towards the shortstop. Throw to first is in time for out number one. And Toby Trujillo is retired 6-3 if you're scoring at home. Dalton Berg comes up next with one out here in the first.
In every game but against the Hard Hats, even against the Hard Hats, Premier West really, they come on a little bit later. I guess it was against Next Level. They put up 2 runs to start things out, but other than that, they have gone 2 games without scoring in the first 2 innings.
Dalton Berg swings at a first pitch, strike one. Ryan Millette, Bradley Millette pitches, has the ball fouled away for strike two. Millette really helped his own cause, not just because he drove in the first run of this ball game, but because he was the spark, the catalyst, if you will, for that 2-out rally that led to the 7-0 score we have on the scoreboard at the moment. That pitch was outside for a ball. Here comes another pitch to Dalton Berg, and that is outside for ball two. Count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Premier West 0-3 in this tournament. They've had some fine moments though. Just trying to find a way to come back. Oliver making a great point a few minutes ago that Premier West rallied from being down 10-0 down to Missoula and pulled to within a run. So no lead is safe against Premier West. Just like no lead is safe at Coors Field. Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Dalton Berg from Bradley Millette. Here's a pitch from Millette. That pitch is high for a ball.
Now, I can't guarantee this, but I believe several of the players on this team, at least 2 of them, have been at Coors Field to play a baseball game. There's some good high school series that go on there with high school baseball in Colorado.
Dalton Berg draws a walk, and that leads to a somewhat comical story. You and I were at the San Diego Padres Minnesota Twins game in May, and there was a Legion series that was going to be played after the afternoon game between the Padres and Twins was completed. And one of the teams sat down right in front of us.
Wayzata, Minnesota.
Wayzata, North Dakota, I think it was.
No,
Wayzata, Minnesota. They sat down, and the usher booted them out of the section.
They said, "You don't have tickets." Well, we didn't have tickets. We're the invite. We're the guests of honor. But they got
booted.
Kicked.
They got kicked out of the section. The players couldn't believe it. We really couldn't believe it.
Post 22, Hard Hats were set to play against Wayzata before their series in Fargo. This about a week and a half ago.
Here's a pitch. The ball is drilled fair down the left field line. That's going to be extra bases, and that will move the runners from first to third and on to second base. And Dalton Berg is at third base with 1 out, and Mateo Rousey comes through with a double, and now Premier West in scoring position big time with 2 on and only 1 out. And here comes Nate Hutchison, the cleanup hitter for Premier West from Arvada, which is a suburb of Denver. Here comes the pitch to Hutchison from Bradley Millette, and that ball is fouled off for strike 1.
Now, Mateo Rosé, he has a very interesting name. The spelling of that name, similar to somebody that my mom used to work with, Paul Rousé, from Golden, Colorado, real close. Had plenty of kin. I believe there were 5 or 6 siblings in his family. One moved out there. He owns him and his kids own a gymnastics business out there. there's a very high likelihood there's related. Only 460 people in the U.S. named Rose.
Ball is hit down to first, and taking it to the bag for Rocky Mountain is Ben Koskowski, and a run will score. So that'll be a infield RBI ground out, unassisted, to the first baseman from Nate Hutchinson for out number 2. Dalton Berg scores, and Mateo Rose advances from second to third base. So Premier West does respond with the run in the home half of the first. Now the ball is hit in front of the center fielder for a base hit by Noah Carrillo, and that's going to bring in another run. It's now 7-2 as Mateo Rose easily crosses home plate. And give credit to Premier West. They sure didn't fold their tent when they were down 7-0. They have quickly, with 2 outs here, made it a 7-2 ball game. And here comes Kenji Bray. Bray, the starting pitcher in the Premier West 7-run defeat to the Post 22 Hard Hats Friday night.
Now, Kenji trying to get something started. He was one of just, I believe, 3 players in that Missoula versus, or maybe even 2 players in that Missoula versus Premier West game that was 9-12 that failed to get a hit. He went 0 for 4, a very outlier there. He's trying to change that, get himself on the hit total for the tournament, and break this slump.
Millette fires a pair of strikes to start this at bat. 1-2 count now to Kenji Bray. Bray hits the ball right to the second baseman to retire the side, but Premier West does respond after falling behind 7-0. They managed to put up a pair of runs on the scoreboard. There were 2 runs. They were both earned. There were a pair of hits. There were no errors, and there was 1 man left on base. A very high-scoring first inning to get things started here in day number 3 of the Post 22 American Legion Firecracker Tournament. The score after an inning of play, it's Rocky Mountain 7, Premier West 2. This is Hard Hats TV. Rocky Mountain Lobos, 1-1 here in the Firecracker Tournament. Come to bat in the top half of the second against Premier West. Garrett Neiman back out there as the hurler for the Premier West team. Rocky Mountain Lobos have 1879 across the front of their jersey. We're thinking that's when the Post was established, because the state of Colorado was established in 1876. Thus Colorado is nicknamed the Centennial State. And also, we looked it up last night, city of Fort Collins, where Rocky Mountain Lobos are from, it was actually established in 1883 after 1879. So I don't know, we might see one of those Taylor Sheridan miniseries 1879 pop up one of these days. Ball is fouled out of play. Bradley Millette swings and fouls off the first pitch from Garrett Neiman as the second inning is now underway. Rocky Mountain 7, Premier West 2. I want to give a shout out to my son Oliver. Not only is he on the broadcast, but he set up the technical connections and is keeping the scoreboard of this first game of the day. Pitch from Neiman was a swing and a miss, and that's strike 3, and that is the 3rd strikeout of the morning for Garrett Neiman and the first out of the inning for the Lobos. Now here comes Brady Hall. No one has been able to get Brady Hall out for the last 48 hours. He has been unstoppable at the plate. Pitch to Hall is over for an inside strike. Count begins at 0-1. Hall was 4 for 4 last night, a 1-man wrecking crew. for the Lobos against the post 22 Hard Hats as Hall fouls a pitch hard back to the screen. And Brady was 1 for 1 already in this ball game, last inning. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Hall. Hall drills a ball high, and it is playable and caught in foul territory. The first out recorded against Brady Hall since Friday morning. Wow. Brady Hall flies out to the third baseman in foul territory for the second out here in the top of the second inning. Got to give it up to Brady Hall. It was a very impressive hitting streak that Brady had.
Yeah, it really was, and it was very timely. They needed all those hits in that game against the Hard Hats last night. He had a 2-run triple and a 2-run double. He even put himself on base in the top of the seventh, allowing the tying run to come to the plate in their 7-4 loss.
Aiden Nelson now the batter. Aiden had a single and an RBI single and scored his first time up. Aiden Nelson fouls the pitch back. Goes over the roof, and there's, I think, one kid right now that's just collecting dollars constantly. Oh, I think we got ourselves a little history lesson there. That's what we want. That's good. Aiden Nelson now sees the count go to 2 balls and 2 strikes against him. And there's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Aiden Nelson goes down. He's the 4th Lobo to go down by way of the strikeout, and that is a 1-2-3 inning after Rocky Mountain put up 7 runs in the top half of the first. There were no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base, and through an inning and a half here in Rapid City at Fitzgerald Stadium, it is Rocky Mountain 7 and Premier West 2. Premier West will send the bottom 3 hitters in the order up against Bradley Millette. You're watching Hard Hats TV coverage of the 2023 Firecracker Tournament. Well, we're happy to have you with us. Taking a look at our schedule, we'll have the Rocky Mountain Lobos and the Expos. That's the farm team for the post-22 Hard Hats at 11:30 approximately today. I'll have the call for you on that game, and then we get into some very exciting games. Pueblo Azteca has their doubleheader coming up at 2 o'clock and 4:30 today. That nationally top 20 ranked next level team from Asheville, North Carolina will take on another 2-0 team here in this tournament, the 20-3 Pueblo Azteca team at 4:30, and then tonight, just ahead of the big fireworks display, it'll be the 3-0 and 34-19 overall post 22 Hard Hats taking on the Missoula Mavericks from Western Montana. We are underway now in the bottom of the second inning. Tony DiRienzo hits the ball high, and it will go through the gap and to the wall. Tony DiRienzo is able to put up a stand-up double to lead things off here in the bottom of the second inning. He does like a little basketball move thing at second base. I've noticed that there's a little bit of flair at the end of some of these stand-up doubles that you see, and this is from all the players and all the teams at the tournament. It's kind of a neat little tradition, I think, that's starting up. Here comes the pitch. Ball fouled away by Nolan Engel. Nolan Engel quickly behind in the count 0-1. Mike Fell, Oliver Fell with you. I'm seeing somebody in the sun and they're fanning themselves. It's going to be hot today. here in West River, South Dakota. Ball is lifted up into the air and caught by the left fielder for the first out of the inning. So Tony DiRienzo, after his leadoff stand-up double, remains at second base in scoring position now for Brock Lopez. Brock Lopez trying to help build on a 5-run lead, or rather cut into this 5-run deficit that Premier West is facing. Pitch from Millette is outside for ball 1. Nice group of fans on hand, most fans in the shade. A few fans right down behind, right at field level. Ball is fouled away and it might be playable. It is deemed not playable as it lands on the roof here at the press box. That was pretty close.
I was very startled. That was louder than I hoped. I think it hit one of the beams that must be connecting here, and so it must have transmitted down the wall here. But it was very loud. I haven't heard one that loud this just period.
Yeah. Here comes another pitch from Millette. That pitch is outside for a ball. Count goes to 2-1 to the number 9 hitter, Brock Lopez. Here we go. The pitch from Millette is a swing and a miss. Strike 2 in the count. Evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. At second base is Tony DiRienzo. Premier West trying to cut into this 7-2 deficit at the moment. Lopez strikes the ball into the corner, and it will land fair, and that'll score a run. And the throw to second is not in time, and Brock Lopez is able to beat the throw from right field, and that is a pair of stand-up doubles as Tony DiRienzo crosses home plate for Premier West. And just as the Premier West team did yesterday when they were down by a large early deficit, they are coming from behind in a big way. It's now 7-3 with just 1 out, and Brock Lopez in scoring position, and Premier West turning over their lineup to the top half of the order. So here we go. Toby Trujillo, the hitter, with 1 on, 1 out. Premier West has scored the last 3 runs of this game. Ball hit to third. Throw to first is not going to record an out. The throw drew the first baseman off the bag, and Mateo Rose was unable to record that out at first. And you could just see the frustration from Mateo at the hot corner position for the Rocky Mountain Lobos. And now Trujillo is at first base.
Yeah, Mateo's on the Premier team.
Oh, well, no, I know that.
I thought you were talking about the error or something.
Well, I was talking about the play at third base by the Rocky Mountain third baseman, who I show is, Phoenix West.
Yeah.
Thank you. Phoenix West was frustrated as his throw drew the first baseman off the bag.
Apparently it is pronounced Rousey. I know.
That's how I was doing.
I know. He says that it's right. Thank you, Margot. But the Rousey I knew was they pronounced it that way.
Okay.
So that was a mistake there.
You meant well, and you're from Colorado, and you thought you had it down. I get it. Ball is fouled onto the grassy hillside, and there are 4 boys chasing after the ball, and the big kid gives it to the not as big kid. That's a nice sight. The 2 kids are almost the same size. All right, here we go. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Dalton Berg, and Trujillo takes off and steals second base. That's the first stolen base of the game for Premier West. It's 7-3. 2 men in scoring position, 1 out. Dalton Berg, the hitter, He walked and scored his first time up for Premier West. And now he calls for time. By the way, they did not charge Phoenix West with an error a few moments ago. Okay. Oh, and there we go. We've got some great. We had questions. We have answers. We'll get to those answers later. Let's focus.
All right.
Well, I'm going to focus on the action at hand here because there's a lot of important things going on. 2 on, 1 out. Here comes the pitch to Dalton Berg, and that pitch is outside. The count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dalton Berg with a golden chance to get Premier West right back into the heart of this game. The potential 4th and 5th runs of this game are out at 2nd and 3rd at the moment with just 1 out. Count is full to Dalton Berg. Here comes the payoff pitch. Remember, first base is open with 1 out here with Mateo Rousey on deck. Ball is fouled back to the screen by Dalton Berg, and we'll replay another version of the payoff pitch right here. Give Premier West credit. They are fighting back after falling into a 7-0 hole against the Rocky Mountain Lobos. It's a very interesting game between a pair of Front Range rivals from Colorado. Count is 3 balls and 2 strikes. Congratulations to all of you Denver Nuggets fans that are watching this broadcast. Nuggets are NBA champs, and that's strike 3 as Dalton Berg is retired looking on the first strikeout of the game for Ryan Millette. So there are now 2 on with 2 out, a 7-3 ball game. And here comes Mateo Rousey. Mateo had a double and scored his first time up for Premier West. Here comes the pitch to Rousey. That pitch is outside for a ball. Congratulations to all of you Denver Nuggets fans, and you too, Oliver. You are a Denver Nuggets fan, lifelong Nuggets fan.
We locked up Jokic yesterday for $250 million.
Oh, really?
276 million.
Okay. Ball is hit past the pitcher, over to the second baseman, throw to first in time. And the Rocky Mountain Lobos are able to minimize damage and hold Premier West to only 1 run here in the bottom half of the 2nd inning. To recap the bottom of the 2nd, Premier West scored 1 run on with a pair of doubles. That would be 2 hits. There were no errors, and there were 2 men left in scoring position and 2 men left on base. So, through 2 innings of play in the opening game of day 3 of the Firecracker tournament on this beautiful sunny Sunday morning, glorious Sunday morning here in Rapid City, it's the Rocky Mountain Lobos 7, Premier West from Arvada, Colorado 3. This is Hard Hats TV.
All right, we will now, if you want to, we'll talk about the
let's get our answers.
We have
wanted to know
manager from the high school team. We have
great.
Jason Keller on hand. He's responding. Yeah.
So here we go. We wanted to know, what does it mean to have 1879 on the jerseys for the Rocky Mountain Lobos? And the answer we received from Professor Keller is that it's significant that the old Colorado Agricultural College, which began classes, I believe that turned into Colorado State University in 1979, in spite of opening in 1870 to the general public. And that's pretty awesome. So there we go. Thank you, Professor Keller. Colorado.
It's just a manager.
Oh, okay. I thought he was a professor. Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Keller, as he lets us know that the classes at the old Colorado Ag College began in 1879 in Fort Collins, and the rest is history. I'll tell you two people I think of when I think about Colorado State.
David Roddy,
No,
the
not
Mountain
not
West
at
play.
all.
I have his jersey.
Well, I'm sure you. I know you do,
I
but
love David
I
Roddy.
don't think of him. I think of Sonny
Six
Lubick,
seed.
Sonny Lubick, the legendary football coach, and the ball is popped up and caught by the third baseman. So to start things off, Ben Kozowski pops out to Mateo Rousey to start things off here in the top half of the third inning. But I also think not only of Sonny Lubick, but Bradley Van Pelt. What a warrior he was. What a great quarterback he was for Colorado State.
Sixth round
Bradley
pick.
Van Pelt was a man among men, a true warrior. They should have a Bradley Van Pelt statue outside the stadium in Fort Collins,
Well, they
in
got
my
to put up
opinion.
Roddy first. They haven't had a ton of
They
basketball
could put him
success.
outside Moby Arena.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
at the football
yeah,
stadium.
well, the basketball team, not a ton of success overall. Still searching, I believe, for their first tournament win.
No, they
No,
got
they
to
have.
the second round with
Oh
that
yeah, true.
tauntaun run.
Yeah, with
Ball
that eight
is
seed in like 13.
ball is popped up and out of play into the empty section behind home plate. And here come some boys looking for the
Oh
ball.
yeah, Shaquille
And one of
Barrett.
the dads gives it to the kid. I
I
love it.
forgot about Shaquille Barrett.
So there we
He
go.
went to the University of Nebraska Omaha, and once they closed their football doors, traveled over to Colorado State. He was the sack leader in 2020 for the Buccaneers on their championship run.
And also Michael Gallup. Ball is
Yep.
strikes
And Jay Norville being thrown out as another name.
Walter Tolpa, who reaches on a hit by pitch. Garrett Neiman today has hit 3 Lobos, and now we'll have a conference between the catcher and the pitcher for Premier West. Rocky Mountain, if you're just joining us, scored 7 runs to start the game. Premier West has been able to battle back, put up 3 consecutive runs. They left a pair of runners in scoring position in the bottom of the second inning, and that was costly perhaps as the score remains a 4-run game. Pitch from Neiman is chopped back to the dugout. Rowan Cachel, now the hitter. Rowan Cachel, rather. Rowan waiting for the pitch from Garrett Neiman. Throw back to first is going to hit the runner and not get past the runner. Count remains 0-1. Premier trying to avoid an 0-4 start to the tournament. Trying to get in the win column. And a bit of a rally here with 3 consecutive runs between the bottom of the first and the bottom of the second. Rowan Cachel walked and scored and drew a run in from third base on that walk back in the first inning. Cachel lifts the ball high to left field, and that will be caught for out number 2. Cachel now 0 for 1 in the ball game, making the grab in left field for Rocky Mountain. Was Brock Lopez. Now here comes Nate Eliason. Eliason had a bases clearing 3-run triple last time at bat. He's 1 for 1 today. He's scored, he's stolen a base, and again he's driven in 3 Lobos. Nate Eliason, the leadoff hitter for Rocky Mountain, threatening to have one of those days you get to tell your kids and grandkids about. Throwback to first is not in time as Walker Tolpa dives back to first. Glad to have you with us. No place we'd rather be than with you on a Sunday morning. Some sports on a Sunday morning here from the Firecracker tournament. There's a swing and a miss by Nate Eliason. Eliason behind in the count 0-1. Stay tuned after this game. We'll have the Expos, the post 22 Hard Hats minor league team that knocked off post 320 across the parking lot yesterday. They will look to shake things up against the Rocky Mountain Expos. And don't take the Expos lightly if you're a Rocky Mountain Lobos fan. The Expos gave Mitchell all they could handle at the Veterans Classic, Mitchell, South Dakota, home of the Corn Palace, about a month ago. Ball is hit high towards center field, and it is caught for the final out of the inning. So the Rocky Mountain Lobos are held in check for a second consecutive frame by Garrett Neiman and Premier West. The Lobos did not score. They did not record a hit. There were no errors, and there was one man left on base, and that man, Walker Tolpa, reached base by way of a hit by pitch. Through 2.5 innings of play here in Rapid City, it's Rocky Mountain 7, Premier West 3. Premier West coming up in the home half of the third inning. This is Hard Hats TV.
So yeah, I mean, Neiman doing a good job, able to settle himself down, buying some time for this comeback. The offense producing at the moment. Rocky Mountain, Mollett just kind of got to keep keep on pushing, try to make. I mean, 4 runs is definitely enough, but you can't keep you can't be bleeding runs out. So there you go.
That's right.
Yep.
Well, we get ready to bring you the home half of the third. Oliver, have you finished all of your thumbnails, or as you call it now? Do you have? All right. Well, everybody gets to enjoy. Everyone can enjoy 5 games today. We'll have 5 games tomorrow and 4 games on the 4th of July here on Hard Hats TV. Ball is drilled to the shortstop. Throw to first is in time as Nate Hutchison is out at first. Good play there by the Lobos shortstop, Brady Hall. Or check that. They're going to say that throw was not in time. So Nate Hutchison is able to reach on an infield single. I thought he was out. Ball is hit fair down the left field line by Noah Carrillo. And that will put runners at second and third with nobody out. And here comes Premier West. Noah Carrillo showing some emotion. Hutchison moving from first to third on that double by Noah Carrillo. And just like that, Premier West getting through against Ace Bradley Millette for the Rocky Mountain Lobos.
As I said, no lead is safe against this Premier West offense.
You said it. You were right on target. And right now, the Lobos, I think, having a conference, making sure that Bradley Millette is where he needs to be as we work through this hot morning here in Rapid City. Temperature today expected to be 86 degrees with sunshine. Premier West is truly making a comeback in this game. They were down 7-0. They put up 2 runs in the first, a run in the second, and now they have the 2 leadoff hitters in scoring position with nobody out here in the home half of the third inning. In a 7-3 ball game, Millette has the ball swatted to second. Throw to first is in time, and the Lobos will exchange a out for a run. And now there's a runner at third base with 1 out as Kenji Bray is retired second to first, 4-3 if we're scoring at home. And now here comes Tony DeRienzo. Tony DeRienzo had a double and scored back in the second inning. Chance for Tony to come through big time yet again. Pitch is outside for a ball. Premier West now trailing 7-4 as Nate Hutchison crossed home plate a moment ago. And that's a wild pitch, and another run will score for Premier West as Millet's throw gets past the catcher Engel, or rather past the catcher Nelson, and now it is 7-5. What a game! Oliver, you were all over it, spoken like a native Coloradan. You said this Premier West team's gonna come back, watch out, and they have. And it's 7-5. Rocky Mountain now over Premier. The bases are empty with one out. Tony DiRienzo, the hitter, able to draw a walk. Bases are not empty anymore. And now Nolan Engel comes to the plate. Nolan flew out to left field his first time up. Engel representing the tying run for Premier West, a team that was down 7-0 before they even saw a pitch in this game. Premier West has Engel drive the ball. Pops up to the left fielder who makes the catch for out number 2. So now there are 2 men out. And here comes Brock Lopez, the number 9 hitter. He had a double his first time up. He was stranded at third last inning. Here comes the pitch to Brock Lopez, and that pitch to Lopez is over for a strike. Premier West down by just a pair of runs. Brock Lopez hitting here with 2 outs, representing the tying run here in the bottom of the third. Lopez hits the ball into center field. That's a base hit. And the hit parade continues for Premier West. Toby Trujillo will now come to hit. Toby 0 for 1 with a walk and a stolen base in this ball game so far. Premier West now with the tying runs on base. What a developing story this is. The Rocky Mountain Lobos had Premier West down 7-0. It's now 7-5. There's a pitch outside. Some people, and I'm one of those people, thinks that one of baseball's greatest qualities is the fact that there is not a clock. And you can come back through your actions, and you're never out of it until that final out. That's some of the things I love about baseball. A game without a clock is very unique. Another unique quality of baseball is that the defense starts with the ball. Think about that for a moment. Count is 1-1 to Toby Trujillo. 2 men are on, 2 men are out. Rocky Mountain trying to hang on and hold their lead. Runner starts to go. That's a swing and a miss to Toby Trujillo. And now Ryan Millette, or Bradley Millette, is down to his final strike here. He's got Trujillo down in the count 1-2 with 2 outs. Trying to keep this game at 7-5. Trujillo lifts the ball into left. That's going to drop for a hit, and that will score a run. It is 7-6. Premier West has now scored 3 runs in the third inning as Toby Trujillo drives in Tony DiRienzo from third base. And now it is a 1-run ball game. Unbelievable. What a game we have for you here on Hard Hats TV on this Sunday morning. If this is a sign of what kind of day we're going to have, wow, get ready, folks. It is going to be incredible. And at the rate we're going, we may not have fireworks till really late tonight. We'll have to see how things play out. Brooke Lopez is at second. Pickoff move. Back to second. Not in time. So the tying run is now in scoring position for Premier West. I didn't hear you.
Brock.
Oh, Brock.
Brooke is the center for the Milwaukee Bucks.
All right, thank you. Brock. Okay, Brock Lopez.
Easy mistake.
Is at second base. Toby Trujillo is at first. Dalton Berg, the hitter. Dalton able to hit the ball right at the first baseman, who makes the catch to retire the side. Dalton Berg retired for the second time today, but how about Premier West? They managed to rally and come almost all the way back for the second day in a row after being down by a huge deficit. They have rallied to pull within one. Yesterday they were down 10-0 to Missoula, rallied to pull to within 10-9. Today they were down 7-0 to Rocky Mountain, and they have currently, through 3 innings, rallied to pull to within 1 run. It is now Rocky Mountain 7 and Premier West 6. To recap the home half of the 3rd inning for Premier West, they scored 3 runs on a grand total of 4 hits. There were no errors, and there were 2 men left on base. Through 3 innings of play, we have ourselves a shootout. It is the Rocky Mountain Lobos from Fort Collins, Colorado 7, and the Premier West team from Arvada, Colorado in the Denver area 6. You're watching Hard Hats TV live from the 2023 Firecracker Tournament.
You need me to run over me?
Yeah, you read my mind. You're good. I'm pretty predictable, aren't you?
Coming to the base, number 30, here on.
So just one slice and then a Diet Coke? Or?
Yeah, I'll take that. We now begin the 4th inning. Pitch is fouled back by Karen Lawing. Rocky Mountain Lobos continue to lead. They've led throughout. It's now a 7-6 game. And Garrett Neiman, who gave up those 7 runs in the top of the 1st inning, has really been able to find his groove, and he's blanked the Lobos in the 2nd and 3rd inning. Let's see what happens here in the 4th. Ball is struck by Lawing, and it is caught for out number 1 in left field. Making the catch in left field was Brock Lopez for Premier West. Now Phoenix West will come up to bat. Phoenix 0 for 2 today. He struck out in the 1st, flew out to left field in the 2nd inning. We're in the top of the 4th. Rocky Mountain 7, Premier West 6. We've got a good one here on a Sunday morning in South Dakota's 2nd largest city. Ball is outside for a ball. Count now 2-0 to Phoenix West. Phoenix West, the number 3 hitter in the lineup. Hits the ball hard, hits it high to left, and it will be caught for out number 2. Garrett Neiman really thriving right now, and he is able to induce fly ball outs. And this is a much better version of Garrett Neiman than what Premier West threw out there about 9 o'clock this morning. Bradley Millette now the hitter. Millette 1 for 2 with a RBI single back in the 1st inning. That got everything started for the Lobos, who scored most of their runs with 2 outs in the 1st. Millette hits the ball to short. Long throw to 1st, not in time. That'll be an infield hit for Bradley Millette. Millette now 2 for 3 in the ball game. And here comes Brady Hall. Brady Hall has hit safely in 6 of his last 7 at-bats. He has simply been Kid Dynamite here in Rapid City at the Firecracker Tournament. Here comes the pitch from Neiman, and that first pitch is outside for ball 1. 1 on, 2 out. We're in the top of the 4th inning. The Rocky Mountain Lobos desperately seeking some insurance runs. They have given up 6 unanswered runs to Premier West in innings 1 through 3. We will only be halfway through this game when the next out is recorded. Still a long ways to go. There's a swing and a miss, strike 2. Or strike 1 rather. The count is now 2-1 to Brady Hall. Rocky Mountain Lobos trying to get to 2-1 in the Firecracker tournament, leading 7-6 at the moment. There's a bouncer to home plate by Garrett Neiman, and now it's a 3-1 count to Brady Hall. Aiden Nelson is on deck. Ben Kiskowski is in the hole for the Rocky Mountain Lobos. Here comes the pitch, and that's a swing and a miss, strike two to Brady Hall, and the count is loaded. We await the payoff pitch here from Garrett Neiman. Neiman throws back to first, and it's a good thing he threw to the first baseman and not the bag. Oh, they're going to call a balk, and that's our first balk that we've seen here in the Firecracker tournament, I believe, as Bradley Millette will go on to second base with that balk call. Now here comes the 3-2 pitch to Brady Hall. Hall's an outstanding hitter for Rocky Mountain. Here comes Neiman's pitch to Brady Hall, and that's over for strike three. It painted the corner perfectly, and that is the fourth strikeout of the game to retire the side for Garrett Neiman in the top half of the fourth inning. What a game we have going this morning here at the Firecracker tournament. There were no runs scored. There were no hit. There was one hit. There were no errors. There was one man left on second base. And through 3.5, halfway through this opening game of our 5-game quintuple header here at the Firecracker tournament in day number 3 in Rapid City, it's the Rocky Mountain Lobos 7, the Premier West team from Arvada 6. This is Hard Hats TV. What a game we have in progress, Oliver. It's just been outstanding. You've got 13 runs in just the first half of this game, and it's a one-run affair.
Yeah, really. And Neiman able to right the ship in a way I didn't think he would. Just personally, because he had a rough game against Missoula, where after allowing 3 in the first, he allowed 4 more in the next. He's able to correct course, keep his team there, and the offense for Premier has been definitely performing up to snuff. It seems like we have a new pitcher here for the Lobos.
We do indeed have a new pitcher for the Lobos. And it looks as though that pitcher is
Wrong team.
Eric Bergquist.
Nope. Lobos.
Eric Bergquist is
there you
the
go. You were looking at the other side.
new pitcher for the Rocky Mountain Lobos. So Bradley Millette's day is over. He goes 3 innings, gives up 6 runs. He will not be the pitcher of record. Ball is struck softly into right field for a leadoff base hit by Mateo Rousey to get things started here in the 4th inning for Premier West. Eric Bergquist is the new pitcher coming in relief for the Rocky Mountain Lobos, who are clinging to a 7-6 lead as we begin the bottom of the 4th inning. If you're just joining us, maybe you came back from church and went to Mass this morning, we're happy you're with us here on Hard Hats TV. But it was a 7-run explosion by the Rocky Mountain Lobos that put the Lobos well in front, but that 7-0 lead has been evaporating inning by inning, and now it's a 7-6 ball game with Premier West rallying for a half a dozen runs in the first 3 innings of this game and trying to tie or take the lead here against Eric Bergquist, the relief pitcher, first man out of the bullpen for Rocky Mountain from Fort Collins. Count is now 3-0 to Nate Hutchison, the cleanup hitter. He got a single, RBI single, his last time up in this ball game. Here comes the pitch to Nate Hutchison. And that pitch is ball 4. And Nate Hutchison takes a base. That moves Mateo Rousey, the fast-moving third baseman, onto second base. And there are 2 on with nobody out. Premier West with a golden opportunity to earn their first lead of this ball game right here, right now. What a game to start the day here at the Firecracker on this 4th of July weekend Sunday morning. Here comes a pitch. It's outside for a ball. Eric Bergquist really struggling to find his way, struggling to throw strikes, and he seems to be nibbling against these Premier West hitters to this point. Here comes a pitch from Bergquist. That ball is struck hard and high. It is caught, or is it dropped by the center fielder? They're going to say it was a catch, and then the ball came out of his hands when he reached for the ball inside his glove. So that's out number 1. Noah Carrillo flies out to center field. So the runners remain at first and second. Here comes Kenji Bray. Bray 0 for 2. You can tell Kenji really enjoys playing baseball. One of those happy players. There's a pitch over for a strike. Kenji started against the Post 22 Hard Hats in front of a huge crowd on Friday night, and he seemed to really enjoy his surroundings. Here comes the pitch from Bergquist to Bray, and that ball is fouled back for strike 2. Eric Bergquist, for the first time in this relief appearance, is able to get a hitter down 0-2. Let's see if Kenji Bray can come through here with 2 on and 1 out in the bottom of the 4th inning. Here's a pitch from Bergquist. That ball is struck right at the shortstop. Flip to second in time. Throw to first will not happen. But the runner is erased at second base with a good piece of defensive glove work there by Lobos shortstop Brady Hall. So that's a 6-4 putout that retires Nate Hutchison. That's the second out of the inning. Kenji Bray reaches on a fielder's choice. And Mateo Rousey is now 90 feet away as the potential tying run in this game with 2 outs. Bergquist facing Tony DiRienzo. He has been great so far today with 2 runs scored, a double, and a walk. Eric Bergquist will try to get out of a jam. Bray, by the way, able to reach second base a moment ago on a stolen base. Here comes the pitch to Tony DiRienzo, and that pitch is fouled just behind the bullpen down the third base line. Tony DiRienzo facing a 1-1 count. Chance to be the hero. The tying run is at third base. The go-ahead run is at second for Premier West, who trailed at 1 point 7-0 in this ball game. Ball is fouled down the line into the corner for strike 2, and now Eric Bergquist, who had a very inauspicious beginning here in the bottom of the 4th, with an opportunity to blank Premier West, something that starter Bradley Millette was unable to do in his 3 innings as a starter. There's a pitch outside for a ball. Count now evens at 2-2. So the tying and go-ahead run are in scoring position. It's a 2-2 count with 2 outs. Lobos trying to shut the door and stay on top after 4 innings of play. Bergquist gets his sign, throws home, and the ball is popped up. Is it playable? Ball is chased to the fence, and it lands for Premier West, fortunately just over the fence. And we continue this at bat with a 2-2 count. Here comes the 6th pitch in this at bat, in this battle between Eric Bergquist and Tony DiRienzo. Bergquist looks up to the sky, now fires home, and that's a bouncer in front of home plate, and the count goes full. So here we go. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 men on, 2 outs in a 7-6 game here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Big moment to say the least. Here's a pitch to Tony DiRienzo, and that's outside for ball 4. And the bases are loaded for Nolan Engel, and Premier West will have an opportunity with a base hit to take their first lead of the ball game. One thing that does happen with that walk is now the force play is in effect at home plate and at every base. Nolan Engel, who is 0 for 2 today, he's flown out to the left fielder both times he's appeared at home plate today, trying to come through in the clutch. First pitch from Bergquist to Engel is a swing and a miss, strike 1. Here comes the pitch to Engel. It is high and inside for a ball. Mike Fell, Oliver Fell with you. Live from Rapid City, the Firecracker Tournament 2023. We have a real barn burner here between a pair of front range teams today. There's a pitch. That's high. Almost hit the batter. That would have tied the game if it would have hit Nolan Engel. Count now goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Eric Bergquist waits, gets his sign, looks inside, fires. That's a swing and a miss, and Nolan Engel there was swinging for the downs. It's now 2-2. Bases loaded, 2 out. What a game! What a game! Here comes Bergquist's 2-2 offering to Nolan Engel, and that ball is fouled over the grandstand canopy, and we'll do it all over again. Premier West trying to come all the way back this time. They came close to coming all the way back against Missoula. They're trying to come all the way back here against the Lobos. Pitch is over for strike 3. Nolan Engel is caught looking, and Eric Bergquist, the man of the moment, leaves them loaded. Gets a lot of appreciation and fist pumps from his Lobos teammates, from his Wolf Pack, and through 4 innings of play. It is Rocky Mountain still on top with a 7-6 lead over Premier West. You're watching Hard Hats TV. Let's recap the bottom of the 4th inning. There were no runs scored. There was 1 hit. And there were no errors, and there were 3 men left on base through 4 innings of play in an instant classic here on a Sunday morning at the Firecracker Tournament. It's the Rocky Mountain Lobos from Fort Collins, Colorado, 7. The Premier West team from Arvada, Colorado, 6. We go to the final 3 frames. This is Hard Hats TV.
Absolutely pivotal moment there from Bergquist. I mean, that is game-changing stuff. Leaving the bases loaded this late for the first time, blanking this Premier lineup, not able to score any in that inning, although they got, incredibly close. Not only does he save the tie, he saves the lead, he saves all of it, and now on the offensive end, Rocky Mountain trying to repay it. Reminder, that Premier West team, they came all the way back from 10-0 down, got 1 run short after the 4th, and then failed to score any more. They came up short, and it was 12-9 in the end. So nearly came all the way back. Now it was a 7-0 lead, and they are down 6-7 after the 4th. There's a possibility that they would have the same fate. And if Rocky Mountain can put a few insurance runs in, that can really help them out. They still have a good chance to hold this.
And to your accounting, and that was really good there, Oliver, to your point, sometimes teams have a way of, you see this a lot in basketball. Let's get back to the action. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Lobos leadoff hitter Aiden Nelson's aboard with a leadoff single. But to your point, Oliver, sometimes you see this, teams have a way when they're not winning, and we know Premier West has started 0-3 in this tournament, of coming back, but for some reason they can't take the lead. it's like they come close, they come back from 20 points down, they maybe pull to within 4, but they just never take the lead. And we'll see what happens here in this game. Rocky Mountain, the thing is, Garrett Neiman has been so good in bouncing back from giving up those 7 runs in the first inning that the Lobos just really haven't had many chances to add to their lead. Neiman's pitch is going to be a check dribbler back to the pitcher. Throw to second is in time to retire the lead runner.
Ooh, I don't know about that one.
As Aiden Nelson is thrown out at second base for the first out, and Ben Koskowski is able to reach on a fielder's choice.
That was I thought that the runner had made it to second by the time that got there. Umpire believed otherwise. That one was definitely a close call, but
However, I will
goes to
say, in
defense.
watching a lot of Legion baseball this year, it seems to me that usually the tie goes to the defense.
I'd agree.
I mean, it tends to be consistently called that way for sure. Here we go. Walker Tolpa now the hitter. Walker, he has had a pair of bruises so far. He has been hit by a pitch twice from Garrett Neiman, and he will try to reach base by way of not taking the ball to his upper torso. Here we go. That's a swing and a miss. Tolpa draws it will be a throw down to second, and that will be a stolen base for Ben Koskowski. Good play there by the Lobos. That is their second stolen base of the morning. The count now goes to, we have a potential run in scoring position for the Rocky Mountain Lobos with 1 out. Walker Tolpa now ahead in the count 2-1. Really have to give Garrett Neiman a lot of credit. He hung in there and helped his team, and now we're going to see some bullpen activity. And I wonder if the pitch count for Neiman, who, as you pointed out, Oliver, he pitched yesterday against Missoula, the Missoula Mavericks. We wonder if perhaps the pitch count is a consideration for Neiman. But very quickly, we have a conference on the mound with Premier West talking things over. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Mike Fell, Oliver Fell with you here on Hard Hats TV. The Rocky Mountain Lobos leading 7-6. Premier West has come all the way back to pull to within 1. But the Rocky Mountain Lobos have turned away threats from Premier West to tie or take the lead in the last 2 innings.
Something to note here, Neiman going to stay out there, but Premier West, they had a very close game that they put everything into against Next Level, and then had a little bit of a pitching meltdown against Missoula. They ran through 6 separate pitchers yesterday in their doubleheader. So
Wow.
they should be rather shallow in their depth at the moment.
Excellent observation there. Thank you, Oliver. Here we go. Throw back to second. Not in time. Ben Koskowski gets back to second base. Walker Tolpa, who has done something that former Rockies skipper Don Paylor would be proud of. Reach base twice on a hit by pitch. Strikes out. No, he doesn't. He just
Strike 2.
He swung and left the batter's box like he was out.
He took a lap.
He just took a weird lap. So here we go. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Tolpa. Yeah, usually when someone walks like that out of the batter's box, they're out. Yeah, it's a swing and a miss. Strike 3. Throw him out, and strikeout. Throw him out will not happen. The strikeout happens. Throw down to third, not in time, as Ben Koskowski reaches third base. But that is Garrett Neiman's 5th strikeout in this ball game here in the 5th inning. And now 2 men are retired. Run is at third base, and that is a big insurance run for the Rocky Mountain Lobos, as now Roan Cachel comes up to hit. Roan 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored, and an RBI walk at that back in the 1st inning. There is a pitch to Cachel. Outside ball 2. Rocky Mountain Lobos 1-1 in this tournament. They beat Pinnacle Bank Papillion Post 32 Friday afternoon. Lost a tough one last night to the Rapid City Post 22 Hard Hats with back-to-back home runs being struck by Harrison Good and Alex Dietrich in that ball game. The two co-leaders on the home run honor roll for Kelvin Torby's 3-0 in first place Post 22 Hard Hats team. Here comes the 3-1 pitch to Kachel. Kachel strikes the ball through the hole, and that'll make it an 8-6 ball game in favor of the Lobos. Kachel comes through with a second RBI in the ball game. That'll score Ben Fiskowski from third base, and for the first time since the early moments of this game, the Rocky Mountain Lobos have scored, and that snaps a string of 6 unanswered runs put up by Premier West, and that'll be the afternoon, or rather the morning, for Garrett Neiman, who gets a nice round of applause from all of the Premier West fans here. And we will have a new pitcher coming into game for Premier West. So Garrett Neiman goes 4 2/3 innings, and he has given up so far 8 earned runs. These two teams yet to commit any errors. It's been a very cleanly played game between these two Front Range Northern Colorado ball clubs. We'll see who the new pitcher is for Premier West. Dmitry Mesnikow. Dmitry Mesnikow is on the mound for the Premier West team.
Dmitry pitched 2 innings in the game against Next Level Baseball. He pitched, or it might have been like an inning and 2/3, something like that. He had 1 shutout inning and then allowed a 2-run outburst, or no, a 4-run out first in the bottom of the 6th that eventually gave Next Level Baseball the win. So he has pitched a little, had a little bit of a rough one, but that Next Level Baseball team is nationally ranked. That's a great team. He will get to face this Rocky Mountain lineup now.
All right, we're happy to have you with us this afternoon. And as you mentioned, Dmitry Mesnikow, the new pitcher for Rocky. Mesnikow. I thought I was pretty close. Mesnikow is the new pitcher for Premier West, and it's 8-6 in favor of the Rocky Mountain Lobos. Lobos fans, stay tuned. We will bring you the next game that will be played by the Rocky Mountain Lobos, coming up against the Expos, not the Montreal Expos, but the Rapid City Post 22 Expos. That's the farm team for Post 22, and they will be taking the field at 11:30. Should have a pretty good crowd for that game. I'm sure a lot of Expo fans will be in attendance, seeing if they can take down one of the powerhouse teams, the Rocky Mountain Expos. That game comes your way at 11:30. Then we'll have a rematch between the Pueblo Azteca and the Pinnacle Bank Papillion Post 32 team from the Omaha area at 2 o'clock. And of course, these are all estimated times now, because this first game may push the start times back for the next 4 games. We're still in the 5th inning, and this game has already gone an hour and a half. Here we go. Here comes the pitch, and it's a wild pitch. Easily scampering to second is Kachel. And now Rocky Mountain has a man in scoring position again with 2 outs. Dmitry Mesnikow. His first pitch was a high offering to Nate Eliason. Eliason 1 for 2 today with a walk. His bases clearing triple, the biggest play for any player in this game. And that is a great bunt laid down by Eliason, and he will reach without a throw. Wow, Nate Eliason just put down a perfect bunt down the third base line. That will easily move Rowan Cachel to third base. And now with runners at the corners, Kieran Lowing comes up to bat. Lowing comes up to hit. Lowing 0 for 2 today, and he reached in the second on a hit by pitch. Here come the Lobos, reminiscent of the response of the Missoula Mavericks when they gave up most of their huge lead yesterday and they tacked on some insurance runs. That's what the Lobos are doing after they gave up most of their 7-0 lead. There's a throw down to second. Here comes a man home. He's going to score. Now we've got a pickle play, and the ball goes past the second baseman. The runner is out of the baseline. Then he gets back up, slides into second. They will not call the runner out, even though he may have been out of the baseline. When he fell down, he was on the grass. But they're going to say that he is safe at second. So Nate Eliason is safe at second base. Rowan Cachel is able to score on that crazy sequence as the throw back to second opened the door for Cachel to score from third. And now it is a 9-6 ball game. This is almost the same script, Oliver Fell, as the Missoula Premier West game yesterday. Wow. Kieran Lowing is still the hitter after all of that mayhem. Here's the one pitch to Lowing, and he drills the ball down the left field line all the way to the warning track, and a run will score, and it's 10-6 in favor of the Rocky Mountain Lobos. Kieran Lowing just teeing off on Dimitri Mescanow, and it's now a 10-6 lead for the young men from Fort Collins, Colorado. Nate Eliason is driven in with that double from Kieran Lowing, and the Lobos right now bouncing back. They had some tense moments when they were hanging on to that 7-6 lead in precarious fashion. They have now extended their lead back to 4 runs and put the bullpen and Premier West on the defensive here in the top half of the 5th inning. Mike Fell, Oliver Fell with you, live from Fitzgerald Stadium. Dimitri Mescanow getting some support from Premier West catcher Nolan Engel as he looks to regroup. Count quickly has moved to 3-0 to Phoenix West. West today 0 for 3. Sees a strike as he takes on that 3-0 count. Dimitri Mescanow's pitch to West. That's a swing and a miss. Strike 2. Count is full. What a game this has been to start our 5-game showcase here on Hard Hats TV from day number 3 of the Firecracker tournament. West hits a dribbler to first, and that will easily be a play made at the bag for the 3rd and final out of the inning. But the Rocky Mountain Lobos establish a solid lead yet again, plating a total of 3 runs, amassing 4 hits. There were no errors committed, and there was 1 man left on base through 4.5 innings of play at Fitzgerald Stadium. It's the Rocky Mountain Lobos 10 and the Premier West team from Arvada 6. This is Hard Hats TV. Due up in the bottom half of the 5th inning, it'll be Brock Lopez, Toby Trujillo, and Dalton Berg for Premier West. And Oliver, I wanted to have a conversation a moment ago about the interesting repeat pattern that we have seen as a parallel to yesterday's Premier West Missoula Mavericks game.
Yeah, I mean, they get 1 run away, then Premier West allows 3, and we'll see if they're able to break the norm and continue their hits. But they got shut out for the final 3 innings by Missoula to win that game 12-9. So they got to watch out for that. Definitely something to smile about if you are a Rocky Mountain supporter at the moment, though.
Rocky Mountain Lobos trying to get to 2-1 here in the Firecracker tournament. They need to keep up or keep pace. They're currently in 4th place with the Hard Hats, Pueblo Azteca, and the next level team from Asheville, North Carolina.
They have a chance to get to 3-1 today, which is where a lot of teams will sit at the end of the day.
That's right. There's a hit right in front of home plate. They're going to call it a foul and stop this play. Yeah, I think a lot of teams will be at 3-1 before this day is done.
We know guaranteed that either Azteca or Next Level will lose later today when they play each other. Both teams 2-0 at the moment.
Ball is hit up the middle. It's handled by the shortstop. Whirling throw to first is outstanding, but it's not in time.
That was some good
As
work.
Brock Lopez reaches on a long single. Man alive, that was such a great play by Brady Hall. We've been impressed by Brady at the plate. He's been phenomenal. Definitely would be at this moment getting all tournament honors. But to see Brady Hall make that kind of play, wow.
Yeah.
That guy has got big things ahead of him. And there is a stolen base for Brock Lopez. He reaches second base without a throw. And tell me where Brady Hall's going again.
Pima Community College.
Well, that community college, you have found yourself a gold nugget in Brady Hall. I'll tell you that. Much like Northwestern Junior College found a gold nugget in Harrison Good for Rapid City Post 22.
He's not the only Northwestern Community College player in this team because Eric Bergquist will be joining him.
All right, Eric's pitching very well right now. Eric Bergquist on the mound. A man at second with nobody out. Here's the pitch to Toby Trujillo, the 1-1 pitch. Bergquist did a great job of keeping the lead for the Lobos last inning. Pitch is outside for ball 2. I wonder if these two young men have met one another. Harrison Good and
well, they will have now.
Eric
They
Bergquist.
played last night.
Oh yeah, you'd think so. Here comes the pitch. That's a swing and a miss. Strike 2. I've driven past Northeastern Junior College in Sterling, Colorado many a time, going to visit you actually,
Yeah.
when I would drive from Alliance or Rapid City down to Denver. Ball is popped up, out of play, and it will bounce off
Right
the
over to
window,
PA.
right in front of the PA area.
One of these days, it'll go to us.
It will
will
one of
at
these
some
days.
point.
Absolutely.
I don't know if it'll be this season, but statistically, it's a certainty. That one took a hop. It would have gone in the window had it been open.
Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Toby Trujillo, who is 1 for 3 today. That pitch is high and inside. The count goes full. Eric Bergquist looks back at second base. Lobos breathing a lot more comfortably at the moment, leading 10-6, up by 4 runs. They were only up by a run an inning ago. Here's a foul ball off the very narrow edge of the canopy.
That went on the underside of the canopy. It hit the support
little
beams.
boys are chasing after the ball. Who will get there first? Oh, the little kid in the blue shirt gets the ball moments before the bigger kid in the red shirt gets there.
He should have.
Here comes the pitch, and it is inside for ball 4, and Toby Trujillo draws a base on balls, and here comes Premier West. This team will not go away. The pride of Arvada, Colorado, finding a way yet again to amass a rally, build a rally here in the bottom of the fifth inning. There are 2 on and nobody out for Dalton Berg. Dalton 0 for 2 in this ball game. Fakes a bunt, throw down to third,
Oh, it
gets
was in
away from the
time.
third baseman. It would have been an out had the third baseman Phoenix West been able to come up with that throw from the catcher. And so that is a stolen base, a double steal, in fact, as Brooke Lopez steals third and Toby Trujillo steals second. Now Dalton Berg with a chance to cut this deficit in half with one swing of the bat. He hits the ball up the middle, handled by Hall. Throw to first in time for the first out in the inning, and a run scores. An RBI ground out by Dalton Berg makes it a 3-run ball game. It's now Rocky Mountain 10, Premier West 7. Scoring on that play was Brock Lopez for Premier West, and Premier West has managed to score in 4 out of 5 innings. That's the first run given up today out of the bullpen by Eric Bergquist, who is headed, as we mentioned, to play in Sterling, Colorado next year in junior college. And Mateo Rousey is now the hitter for Premier West with a man at third base. Rousey hits the ball high. This might score a run. It's handled by the right fielder. Here comes the play at the plate. Throw to home plate is not in time. Toby Trujillo scores, and that's a sac fly RBI by Mateo Rousey. And now it's back to a tight game yet again. It's the Lobos 10, Premier West 8, with the bases cleared with 2 outs as the Premier West team exchanges outs for runs back to back here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Bergquist throws towards home plate. That's going to be a ball to start things off as cleanup man Nate Hutchison steps up to the plate. What a game this has been. This has been a real pleasure to broadcast and a lot of fun for all the fans who came out here early today to see this showdown of Northern Colorado Legion powers. It is 10-8. Trujillo and Lopez have scored. The 2 leadoff hitters here in this bottom half of the fifth inning. Eric Bergquist giving up his first 2, yielding his first 2 runs. Nobody on, 2 out. 2-1 pitch is outside, and the count goes to 3-1 to Nate Hutchison. Hutchison is 1 for 2 today with a run scored and an RBI. Back in the third inning. Here comes a pitch, and that's going to hit Nate Hutchison.
He's had a few of those, hasn't he?
Nate Hutchison, that's actually the first time he's been hit today.
He had a walk, okay.
But his teammate, it's actually been Lobos that have been hit by Garrett Neiman more than anything else as far as the hit by pitches have been concerned in this contest. Mike Fell, Oliver Fell with you. If you like what you're hearing or watching, give us a like. That helps us with Hard Hats TV reach more fans, including our friend Igor, who regularly tunes in from Northern Ontario. We now have a conference at the mound, and the manager looks like he's going to make a pitching change, and he will. Bergquist comes out of the game, and we will see who will take the baseball here in a matter of moments. Lobos 10, Premier West 8. Eric Bergquist getting a nice round of applause from all the great fans from Fort Collins as Bergquist is able to work an inning and 2 innings of work. Very effective relief work, I might add, for Eric Bergquist. I think the key for Eric Bergquist was just to get out of trouble when the bases were loaded back in the fifth inning when Premier West threatened to take the lead. It was such a huge momentum shift. to keep the Lobos in front. And then the Lobos were picked up by Eric Bergquist's efforts because they were able to go out and put 3 runs on the board in the top half of the 5th inning. And this has really been some kind of a game.
Now, let me just say, if in the event that they do not come back, Premier West would drop to 0-4 in this tournament. They would be possibly the most competitive 0-4 I have ever seen. They have had a lot of good games, lost by 3 to Missoula, lost by 4 to Next Level, and if they end up losing this one, it would be really tight to Rocky Mountain. So they would be 0-4, but with a lot of really good games. It's just they can't seem to quite finish them out, or they come up a little. They come up a little short in the end.
Phoenix West will be the new pitcher for the Lobos. Phoenix coming over from third base. He will now pitch for Rocky Mountain.
It's all good.
Yep. For the Lobos, they will be using their 3rd pitcher in the ball game. We're still in the 5th inning. Premier West, you have to give a lot of credit to. They were down 7-0. They pulled to within a run. It was 7-6, and they were down 10-6. Now they've pulled to within 2. It's 10-8. Lobos hanging tough. The Lobos want to contend and reach the championship game. They will have to earn a sweep today of their doubleheader. They will play the Lobos, the farm team for Post 22, after this game is over. Mike Fell and Oliver Fell with you. Hope you're enjoying sports on a Sunday morning. Here's a pitch low over the plate for a ball. Bradley Millette, or rather check that, my bad. Noah Carrillo, the hitter. And there goes the runner. Throw down to second is not in time. Stolen base there for Nate Hutchison. And that's the 4th stolen base here in the bottom of the 5th inning for Premier West. They have been running like proverbial jackrabbits. Noah Carrillo ahead in the count 2-0, waits for the pitch from Phoenix West, and that pitch is outside for ball 3. I had my Phoenix Sun shirt on yesterday, Oliver, and I had my Arizona State Sun Devils Old School Fiesta Bowl reunion shirt on Friday, and now of course I'm wearing my San Diego Padres jersey, but I had my Phoenix theme shirts going the last 2 days, and now when I don't have my Phoenix shirt on, Phoenix West is on the mound. Go figure.
To be fair, he hit yesterday when you did have yours on.
Oh, that's true. Here comes the pitch. Ball is lifted high towards center field. It's called for and grabbed for the final out of the inning. So Phoenix West does his job big time. He comes in, strands a runner, and keeps this game at 2 runs. It's Rocky Mountain 10, Premier West 8. Noah Carrillo flies out to center field for Premier West, and the Premier West team from Arvada able to cut a 4-run deficit in half in their home half of the 5th inning. They score a total of 2 runs on 1 hit. There were no errors, and there was 1 man left on base. Premier West efficiently trades runs for outs with the Rocky Mountain Lobos, and they make it a 10-8 ball game. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. You don't know what's going to happen in these final 2 frames. It's Rocky Mountain 10, Premier West 8, and you're watching Hard Hats TV.
Well, some big runs came across, but some big runs also prevented from coming across there in that inning. We will see how this Rocky Mountain team is able to respond. Like I said, if they can win this, and then also win that game against the Expos later today, right after this, it will be a big one to shake up the standings. They will move to 3-1. They will be back in the title race for a chance at this championship of the tournament. And you will see some good stuff there if they end up getting to that point. Otherwise, moving to 1 and 2, they would be with Missoula, and well, they'd be pretty close with this Premier West team. It's a big win, whether or not they're going to be maybe 3 or maybe in playing for that 3-4 game. We're playing maybe down at 5-6.
We begin the top half of the sixth inning. The Lobos due up. Plan to send Bradley Millette, Brady Hall, and Aiden Nelson to the plate. Bradley Millette, the original pitcher for Rocky Mountain today. And Dmitry Mesnikow hits Bradley Millette in the back for a hit by pitch, and the leadoff man is on board for the Rocky Mountain Lobos. Now here comes Brady Hall. Brady Hall has cooled off considerably. He's been recorded an out, 2 straight at bats, but that was after he had 7 consecutive hits here in this Firecracker tournament. Pitch to Hall is low and inside to start things off here. What a great player Brady Hall is. He's got what it takes to do some very special things in this game. Here comes a pitch to Hall, and that is over for a strike. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Brady. A little bit of a lead off first. Bradley Millette leading off, and that pitch is over for a strike. And Dmitry Mesnikow is really getting into a better groove. He's finding the strike zone on the inside part of the plate, and that's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Brady Hall goes down, and Dmitry suddenly starting to step up here and attack these hitters in the heart of the lineup for the Rocky Mountain Lobos, who lead 10-8. We are in the top of the 6th inning. Mike Fell, Oliver Fell with you. Thanks for tuning in, whether you're watching from Colorado or from here in Rapid City or north of the border. We're glad to have you along. Aiden Nelson now the hitter for the Lobos. Aiden 2 for 3 today with an RBI, pair of singles. Pitch inside from Dmitry Mesnikow is a ball. It's really warming up. Feeling some hot air kind of coming into our booth, and this is what baseball in the big leagues is like on a Sunday morning around the country. It's usually a hot, sunny Sunday. Oliver, I know your career will go places if it ever goes to the show or something like that. There's something about a hot summer Sunday afternoon in baseball. Pretty special. I used to go to a lot of St. Louis Cardinal games at Old Bush Stadium. They used to play on artificial turf, and it would get hot down on the field at Old Bush Stadium. Of course, if you are from a certain vintage, you might remember the St. Louis Football Cardinals, also known as the Big Red, back in the old NFC East, and they would play football games early in the season on the hot field with great quarterbacks like Jim Hart and Neil Lomax pulling the trigger for the Big Red. There's a pitch outside. It's 3-1. Aiden Nelson now waiting for the pitch from Dmitry Mesnikow. The pitch from Dmitry is drilled into the hole, and that will be a base hit for Aiden Nelson, who was an impressive 3 for 4 today with a trio of singles. Bradley Millette is now at second base. The Lobos certainly well aware that no lead is safe, trying to rally with 1 out here to re-extend their lead. They're currently up 10-8, but they cannot feel safe at all with Premier West having scored in 4 out of 5 innings, and the inning in which Premier West did not score was an inning where they left the bases loaded. Ben Kozakowski, now the hitter, the right-handed swinger up there with 1 out and 2 on. Pitch from Dimitri, hits him in the head, and that will load the bases. Dimitri Mescanow right now just really erratic with some of his pitches, and that is 2 hit by pitches in this inning alone issued by Dimitri. So Bradley Millette is at third base, Aiden Nelson's at second, Ben Kozakowski's at first, and here comes Walker Tolpa. Walker has been hit by a pitch twice from Premier West starter Garrett Neiman. He struck out his last time up. We'll see what happens here. And the ball is struck well to left field, and that will drop for a hit. A run will score, and it's an 11-8 lead for the Lobos. Walker Tolpa comes through with an RBI base knock. That brings home Bradley Millette from third base. And the Rocky Mountain Lobos have now scored in consecutive innings for the first time in this ball game. And the bases are loaded for Roan Kachel, who is 1 for 2 today with a pair of RBIs. The Rocky Mountain Lobos trying to get to 2-1 and remain in the top half of the Firecracker tournament bracket. You're watching Game 1 coverage of our quintuple header, our 5-game showcase today in Game 3 of the Firecracker tournament. Pitch, the count quickly goes to 1-1 as Dimitri Mescanow is facing Roan Kachel. Pitch to Kachel. Kachel hits a base hit into left field. That'll score a run, and the Rocky Mountain Lobos, all with 1 out, have been able to reestablish their lead at 4 runs after giving up a pair of runs in the home half of the 5th inning. Aiden Nelson scores the 12th run of the game for the Lobos, and the bases remain loaded with 1 out. And here comes the top of the order in Nate Eliason, who squares the bunt and fouls the ball back for a strike. Nate Eliason has had a very good game. He is 2 for 3 today with 2 runs scored and 3 RBIs. Nate Eliason trying to break this game wide open, much like the Lobos did back in the 1st inning. High pitch from Dimitri Mescanow is inside for a ball. Here comes the 1-1 pitch from Dimitri. Nate Eliason trying to break this game wide open. Here's the pitch, and Eliason swings hard and fouls the ball back to the netting. Premier West showing time and time again they are much better than the 0-3 record that they currently hold in this tournament. They just haven't been able to get over the top, whether it was yesterday against Missoula, whether it was against Pinnacle Bank Papillion. Nothing has come easy for this good baseball team from Arvada, Colorado. Have a little conference between the catcher and pitcher, between the battery mates. Now here comes the 1-2 pitch to Nate Eliason. Bases loaded, 1 out. Pitch to Eliason, and that's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Well, whatever was said by Nolan Engel worked as Dimitri Mescanow mows down his 2nd Lobo for out number 2 in this inning. And here comes Kieran Lawing. Lawing had a double his last time up. He's 1 for 3 in the afternoon, and he was once struck by a pitch. by Premier West starter Garrett Neiman. Kieran Lowing now watches a pitch go in the dirt. Count is evened up at 1-1 strike. Bases are loaded. Chance for the Lobos to extend their 4-run lead they currently hold. Ball is popped up and playable. Called for by the first baseman, who makes the catch in the third and final out, and Dmitry Meskinow is able to negotiate his way out of major damage and keep this a 4-run ball game. That is a fly out a moment ago to first baseman Tony DiRienzo. And let's recap the top half of the 6th inning. There were 2 runs scored on a grand total of 3 hits. There were no errors, and there were 3 men left on base. Through 5.5 innings of play here in Rapid City, in an absolute thriller in the sunshine on a Sunday morning here at Fitzgerald Stadium, it's Rocky Mountain 12 and Premier West 8. You're watching Hard Hats TV coverage of the 2023 Firecracker Tournament. We now head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Premier West will send the bottom half of their lineup to the plate in the 6th inning. It'll be Kenji Bray, Tony DiRienzo, and Nolan Engel. If anyone gets on, Brock Lopez to face the second man out of the bullpen for the Rocky Mountain Lobos, Phoenix West. Kenji Bray getting a lot of "let's go Kenji" cheers from his teammates. That pitch is inside for a ball. Kenji Bray 0 for 3 in this ball game. Sees a pitch go inside. The count moves quickly to 2-0. Phoenix West trying to deal another inning of solid relief work here for a Rocky Mountain Lobos team that has led throughout this game but has been challenged for the full 5.5 innings that have happened so far. Here comes a pitch from Phoenix West. The ball is looped foul down the right field line and out of play for strike 1. Great to see the kids chasing after the foul balls. Not a lot of kids here, but enough to put on a chase for foul balls. There's a swing and a miss. Throw down to first is in time, and that is a strikeout for Phoenix West, his first of the morning. Kenji Bray wearing the collar today, 0 for 4. We'll jog back to the Premier West dugout. Now here comes Tony DiRienzo. He has had quite a morning. He is 1 for 1 with a pair of walks and a pair of runs scored. The left-handed hitter has good speed and will try to become the catalyst for yet another Premier West rally, with Premier West trailing 12-8 here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Here comes the pitch, and it's over for a strike. Tony DiRienzo wears number 17, as does the pitcher on the mound for the Lobos, Phoenix West. Ball chopped up the middle of the infield, throw to first, not in time. Tony DiRienzo able to draw an infield single. Whenever you see the number 17, you always think of Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills and the legendary Phillip Rivers of the Los Angeles Chargers, formerly the last pitcher of the San Diego Chargers.
Quarterback, yeah.
Quarterback for the San Diego Chargers. Nolan Engel waits for the pitch, and it is low for a ball. Here comes the pitch to Nolan Engel, and that almost hit the hitter. Made his shirt move. count now squared. It now moves to 2-0. Tony DeRienzo with a good lead off of first base. Phoenix West, the pitcher, fires to home plate. And the ball is fouled back onto the roof of the canopy here at the Fitzgerald Stadium grandstand. We are going to have a packed house later today. Hats off to Wayne Sullivan and the City of Rapid City City Council for creating 50 extra parking places. There's a ball smashed down the left field line. That's going to be 2, and that will put 2 runners in scoring position for Premier West. Noah Engel gets his first hit of the day, and it's a big one. He gets a double, moving Tony DeRienzo from first to third. And now here comes Brock Lopez, who was a perfect 3 for 3 today with a double and a pair of singles. And here comes that Premier West team. They will not go away. They are just constantly coming back, kind of like the policeman in Terminator 2. There's a swing and a miss. Ball gets away from the hitter.
It's a lot different answer than the athlete's foot I was going to bring up, but
no, I don't do. That
comes back.
I don't do those nasty things. I like Terminator 2 better, where that guy says, "Are you John Connor? Are you John Connor?" And he just keeps on coming. He gets blasted and then he heals himself in the moment. Here's a pitch from Phoenix West, and that's going to be a ball. I don't know if you've seen Terminator 2 or not, Oliver.
I haven't seen the first either.
Okay. Yeah, they're very different movies. And Arnold Schwarzenegger delivers in both. As the Terminator, I'll be back. Ball is hit towards the second baseman. It's caught there. Throw back to second. Not in time. But the second out is recorded as Brock Lopez goes down for the first time this morning. And there are now 2 on with 2 outs. The new Rocky Mountain Lobos are 4 outs away from getting back above 500 here in this Firecracker tournament, leading 12-8. But 2 big runs are in scoring position for Premier West, and that's going to bring them home. That will be a double. Toby Trujillo, with his second hit of the game, has a 2-run double. Now he takes off for third, and he will score due to some sloppy defense on the relay sequence. And Toby Trujillo gets a double, advances on the air on the shortstop, and now it is a 12-10 game. Tony DeRienzo scores, and Noah Engel scores and crosses home plate, and that makes it a 12-10 game. This has truly been a remarkable effort by Premier West, and an equally remarkable effort by Rocky Mountain to consistently maintain this lead. So at third base is Toby Trujillo with 2 outs. Dalton Berg is the hitter. Dalton 0 for 3 today, hitting in the number 2 spot and wearing the number 2. If Dalton Berg could bring home Toby Trujillo, or if Toby was to score on a wild pitch or a pass ball, it would be a 1-run game going into the 7th. Berg hits the ball high, and it might be out of here, and it is! It's a home run! We are tied at 12! Dalton Berg hits the ball into the creek over the right field wall, and this place has gone crazy. Premier West has come all the way back with a 2-run dinger with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th from Dalton Berg. We are all tied at 12-12. This is baseball as it ought to be. What a game.
I can't believe what I just saw. That was incredible. I never even thought of a home run in that situation. Then it came tied up from 7-0 down. Yet again, this Premier team makes a great comeback. They are not going to let it slip away like they did with Missoula. And they're keeping the gas on. What a game this is, 12-12. That's a score I've never seen in baseball.
It's outstanding. It's one of the greatest games I've ever been around. Definitely the greatest game I've ever had a chance to broadcast. And this is just day number 1 of the Firecracker Day 3. Man alive, Phoenix West has been pulled after giving up that 2-run home run, and he'll probably go back out there and play third base again. And we'll have a new pitcher for the Lobos. The Rocky Mountain Lobos give up a 7-run lead. Then they go back up by 4 runs after it's a 7-6 game. Then they see their 4-run lead cut to 2 runs, and they go back up by 4 runs. And then in the bottom of the 6th inning, after that dramatic home run to right field by Dalton Berg, the Premier West team from Arvada, Colorado has rallied, and I mean rallied with all capitals across the word rallied, to force a 12-12 tie here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Unbelievable. This game has just been a testament to the kind of baseball being played in the state of Colorado at the American Legion level. This has been a treat for anyone who came out here this morning and everybody watching here on Hard Hats TV. Rocky Mountain 12, Premier West 12. We are in the bottom of the 6th inning, and the new pitcher for the Rocky Mountain Lobos is Logan Muskie.
He's that finicky one we saw last night against the Hard Hats. Pulled off his hat and whatnot.
Yeah, that's right. Logan Muskie, he's always doing something, either with his hands. He's always kind of twitching a little bit. He takes his hat off when he doesn't have to. He looks as ball is hit up the middle, off the glove of Brady Hall for a base hit for Mateo Rousey, who comes to hit here after a dramatic 2-run game-tying home run was struck a moment ago by Dalton Berg. And that was Dalton's first hit of the game. I mean, you talk about a blast from nowhere. There it was. And now the go-ahead run for Premier West is at first base in the person of Mateo Rousey. Here comes Nate Hutchison. Logan Muskie, the pitcher, the 3rd man out of the bullpen for the Rocky Mountain Lobos, who really have to win this game if they want to. They must win this game if they want to contend in this tournament. Ball is fouled away by Hutchison. The count moves to 1 ball and 1 strike. This game has been incredible. 5 stars out of 5, no question. Here comes the pitch to Nate Hutchison. It's over for a strike. And the relief pitchers in this game, some of them have given up more runs than others, but you got to salute how many times the relief pitchers in this game have gotten out of trouble and stranded a lot of runners.
Yeah, it's very rare in a 12-12 game to say that they dodged a few bullets.
Yeah, well, it is.
It is.
And not only that, but, you know, it's a 12-12 game with just 1 home run being hit. And no errors. Only 1 error being committed this entire game between these two teams. It's a masterpiece. There's a pitch.
He changed his mind.
Plate.
He looked like he was starting to take off, and then the ball bounced, and he said, "I guess I'll stay." So
that was
a turning around.
Mateo Rousey decides to turn around and stay at first base. Nate Hutchison now with a full count, going up against Logan Muskie from Rocky Mountain. Here comes Muskie's pitch. Ball is lifted to left field. It looks like it will be caught, and it will be caught. We are closed out of the 6th inning, but what a dramatic comeback, a 4-run bottom of the 6th inning for Premier West sends us to the 7th frame with a tie 12-12 ball game on a hot Sunday morning on the 4th of July weekend in Rapid City. For Premier West, they score 4 runs on a total of 4 hits, including the Dalton Berg game-tying 2-run home run. There was 1 error, and there was 1 man left on base through 6 innings of play. A game beyond words. Rocky Mountain 12, Premier West 12. This is Hard Hats TV.
I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that. That is incredible. Proud to bring it to you.
Yeah, we're proud to bring it to you. Just to give you some perspective here about this 12-12 game, did you know the Lobos, they have stranded 8 base runners in this game, 12-12 game, and for Premier West, they have stranded 10 base runners in this game. I mean, wow. I mean, that's a testament to good pitching and defense and really rising to the moment. And the comeback that we have seen in this game has been for the ages. And it's really been a series of comebacks culminating in a tie game as we enter the 7th inning. Phoenix West will lead things off for the Rocky Mountain Lobos. Lobos just have to shake things off after that Berg home run and say, you know what? It's a new ball game. Let's go. For Premier West, they have come all the way back. They've managed to do something they couldn't do against Missoula yesterday, and that's come back and come all the way back. They still haven't taken the lead. They're hoping that they can get a walk-off in the bottom of the 7th and take their first lead of the game when it matters the most. Count quickly moves to 3-1 against Phoenix West as Dmitry Meskinov is back out there for his 3rd inning of work. Dmitry's pitch is outside, ball 4, and the left-handed hitter Phoenix West draws a leadoff walk.
And that's what the Lobos need to do. Not a ton of hits necessarily in this game from their side, but they have provided a lot of base runners in the form of hit by pitches and walks. That is where most of their runs have come from. And just get on base and let the boys bring you around is what they're going to have to do here. They need at least, I mean, you would say they need at least 1 to do it, but I would argue they need maybe 2, 3, 4, because this Premier West team is going to be a hard one to deny in the bottom of the 7th.
Well, these two teams have come over 300 miles each to play one another in this game today. And I just got to say, it was worth it. No matter who wins, this game has just been incredible. And folks, there's going to be some great baseball games later today. That 4:30 matchup between the two teams currently tied for 2nd in this tournament between Pueblo Azteca and Next Level from Asheville, North Carolina. That's going to be one of the greatest matchups perhaps that's ever been played at Fitzgerald Stadium. That's going to be around 4:30, although it could be 5:30 or 6. I mean, this is game 1. Certainly the start times being well pushed back because of this 12-12 battle we have still in progress here in the top half of the 7th inning. Phoenix West is at first base, representing the go-ahead run for a Rocky Mountain Lobos team that led almost entirely to this point until Dalton Berg hit that 2-run home run to tie the game over the right field wall. Pitch goes to Bradley Millette. Millette pops it up. It's playable in center, and it's caught for out number 1. And that's a big out there for Premier West. And for relief pitcher, Dimitri Meskinow. Good catch made in center that time by Nate Hutchison. Now here comes Brady Hall. If you're ever looking for a Lobo hero, this might be your guy for Rocky Mountain. Brady Hall has been retired 3 times in a row, but he had a 7-hitting streak that was snapped back in the 2nd inning of this game. There's a high pitch, throw down to second, chance to get him. They do not, and that's a stolen base for Phoenix West. Phoenix able to get into scoring position as the go-ahead run in this 12-12 deadlock.
Well, that was a really hard one there to swallow if you're a Premier West fan, because West got in there. The throw was very close, but he used that outside arm, so the tag swing underneath did not hit him.
Ball is lifted by Brady Hall to center, and it is caught for out number 2. So Brady Hall gave that pitch a ride.
Look at Mesnikow.
But Mesnikow able to keep the runner at second base. I kind of expected to see a tag play there.
Well, did you see the play out there in center? There was a good piece of, I guess, coaching from Premier West. The center fielder, whose momentum was taking him towards the wall, he caught it. He underhand flipped it to the right fielder, who was moving in and had his momentum towards the infield.
Nice.
And so with that kind of handoff,
yeah, it's a great,
able to do that.
Brilliant piece of outfield defense. Aiden Nelson, now the hitter, will try to stake the Lobos to their 2nd lead of the game. Wait a minute, we maybe have an interference call of some kind, a catcher's interference call, I'm not sure, but Aiden Nelson is going to go down to first base, so there's 2 on with 2 out. Ben Kozakowski will come up to bat with 2 on here in the top of the 7th inning. If you're just joining us, maybe you just came home from Mass at the old cathedral, or maybe just wherever you're going to church this morning.
or not.
Or not. But if you're just joining us, Rocky Mountain took a 7-0 lead. Had that lead cut to 7-6. They were threatened multiple times by Premier West, where Premier West almost took the lead. Then Rocky Mountain put up 3 runs in the top of the 5th, went up 10-6. Premier West cut that deficit in half, made it 10-8. Then Rocky Mountain went up 12-8 with 2 runs in the visitors' half of the 6th inning, and then Premier West came all the way back, put up 4 runs in the bottom of the 6th, and that has us where we are now, tied at 12. We're in the top of the 7th inning. These 2 teams have combined to strand 18 base runners in this ball game. There's a swing and a miss as Dimitri Meskinow able to draw a swing and a miss. Not sure this is Ben Kozakowski. I think we may have had a pinch hitter here for Rocky Mountain. And then that's a hit by pitch. And I think that was not Kozakowski. It was Elvis Conti. And he draws a hit by pitch. And now the bases are loaded. West is at third base. Nelson's at second. And the pinch hitter here in the 7th, Conti, he is at first base for the Rocky Mountain Lobos. 2 out, bases loaded. Dimitri Meskinow trying to keep this game tied at 12. Walker Tolpa, the man of the moment, up to bat, the number 8 hitter for the Rocky Mountain Lobos. Pitch goes to Tolpa. Tolpa hits it hard over the left fielder's head. That scores 1 run, 2 runs, and 3 runs. And that's a bases clearing double over the head of Premier West left fielder Brock Lopez. And that makes it a 15-12 ball game. Walker Tolpa with the hit of the game for Rocky Mountain. Hits a stand-up, bases clearing double. Tolpa now with 5 RBIs for the Lobos today, and it is a 3-run lead for Rocky Mountain. Wow.
I mean, ice in his veins there. 2 outs in the top of the 7th. You're about to go, and it's either no runs or some. You come up, you give them 3, and possibly become the 4th in this inning. That is crucial. I think 3 is about as much as you need to try to close this out at the bottom of the 7th against Premier West.
I don't know if any lead in this game is safe.
Oh, it's not
at all.
safe.
Yeah.
I think this is about what you get.
Ball is popped up and playable. This should do it. Dimitri Mescanal catches the ball on the fly ball out, and that is out number 3. What a game we have for you here this morning as the Rocky Mountain Lobos are back on top midway through the 7th inning, leading 15-12. Rowan Catrell, by the way, flew out to the pitcher for the 3rd and final out. Let's recap the decisive top of the 7th inning for the Rocky Mountain Lobos. They scored a total of 3 runs on 2 hits, including that bases clearing double, and there were no errors committed, and there was 1 man left on base. It's Rocky Mountain 15, Premier West 12, and we now move to the bottom of the 7th
Look
inning.
who's on the mound.
And it will
Who
be
else but
Brady
Brady Hall?
Brady Hall, who's headed to Pima Community College next year. He will go for the save. Pitcher of record right now for the Rocky Mountain Lobos is Logan Muskie. He is in position to win this ball game, and it will be the closer, Brady Hall, coming over from shortstop to play to be the closer with a 3-run lead to protect for the Rocky Mountain Lobos, who have been pushed to the limit, to say the least, by this valiant comeback effort by Premier West from Arvada, Colorado.
All I'm going to say, Premier West did not come back all 12 runs here to lose their 4th game in a row. They did not come here to lose. They are not trying to leave this game continually winless. But Rocky Mountain needs this win. 3 more runs. That's only a 4th of what they've already put up. They did 4 last inning. 4 here would get the win. We'll see. It's up to Brady Hall and the Lobos.
All right, here we go. We get things going. Premier West. We begin with Toby Trujillo at the top of the order. Toby pops it up out of play. Premier West down by 3 runs. This is it. We've reached the bottom of the 7th inning. Certainly Premier West at this point just sees 3 as a number. They're ready to go to work and try to find a way to win this game. They have rallied. At one time, they trailed 7-0 in the top half of the 1st inning. They've come all the way back to tie the game. Now they're down by 3, and there's an error on the backup shortstop, who is filling in for the closer at this moment, Brady Hall. So there is an error on the reserve shortstop for Rocky Mountain, Ross Frank. So Ross Frank opens the door with a fielding error, and Toby Trujillo is safe at first base.
Frank started the 1st game against the Hard Hats in this tourney. He pitched a good 4 or 5 innings, did a solid job there, and then caught last night. So he's played pitcher, catcher, and now shortstop.
Here comes Dalton Berg. Dalton hit that game-tying 2-run home run. He'd love to go deep yet again. He'd be happy probably just to get on base, because the tying run is in the on-deck circle with the Rocky Mountains on top, Lobos on top 15-12 at the moment. Pitch from Brady Hall is a great one. Nice off-speed pitch with some serious action. makes it a 1-2 count against the hitter Dalton Berg. Dalton waits for the pitch from Brady, and that pitch is just off the edge of the strike zone, and the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner at first is Toby Trujillo. 1 man on, nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th. Ball is hit hard by Berg, but right at the right fielder for out number 1.
Big out there.
So now the Premier West team from Arvada is down to their final 2 outs. They must find a way to score 3 runs. Here comes Mateo Rousey. Mateo today has had a good day. He's 2 for 3 with a sacrifice. He hits the ball down the line. It's fair in left field, and there will be a double for Premier West. And now the tying run is in the batter's box in the person of Nate Hutchison. Runners are at second and third with just 1 out. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning, Nate Hutchison today, 1 for 3, or rather 1 for 2, with a walk and a hit by pitch. Here comes the cleanup hitter. That's just what you want if you're the manager, is to get your cleanup hitter to the plate in the 7th inning, representing the tying run. First pitch is over for a strike for Brady Hall. Here comes the pitch to Hutchison. It's inside.
That
for
might
a
have
ball.
hit. That might have hit the zone there. I think Hall realized that. It curved or had a little bit of break that pulled it in towards the plate. Might have gotten it on the way out.
Here comes the 1-1 pitch from Brady Hall. 2 on, 1 out. It's a 3-run lead for the Lobos from Rocky Mountain. Ball is fouled away for strike 2. This game has had everything you could possibly want and more. And this is just game 1 in our 5-game showcase here on Hardhats TV today. Ball is fouled away out of play.
This is going to come down to the last out. I know it.
These 2 teams have absolutely put it all out there today on a Sunday morning. Wow. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Nate Hutchison with 2 men in scoring position. Ball hit to third base. Throw to first is on the money, and that's an exchange for a run for an out, and it's 15-13. Hutchison retired on the throw from third over to first, and now Mateo Rousey stays at second, and the tying run is still at the plate, but it is a 15-13 game. Toby Trujillo scored on that last ground out.
Yeah.
Nate Hutchison now with 2 RBIs this morning. And here comes Noah Carrillo. He represents not only the tying run, but he could potentially be the final out of the game, as Brady Hall quickly moves ahead 0-1 against Noah Carrillo. Pitch to Carrillo, fouled out of play, and now the Rocky Mountain Lobos are a strike away from getting to 2-1 in the Firecracker tournament and withstanding one of the most remarkable and resilient comeback efforts you will ever witness at a baseball
just one swing of the bat from
game.
Tying it up.
Here comes the pitch. It's just on the edge for a ball.
That is so
The
close.
Rocky Mountain Lobos fans thought they had strike 3. So did their skipper.
Might add a significant portion of people on their feet at this moment in anticipation.
Here comes the pitch from Brady Hall. Ball is slapped right at the shortstop. He has it. Throw to first is in time. No, he's saved. I thought he got him. The umpire says that Noah Carrillo beat the throw, and this game continues with runners at the corners and 2 outs, and the Premier West team stays alive.
After replay, I think he might have gotten there.
Well, we have an argument.
Let's
The
see.
manager for the Rocky Mountain Lobos, Cole Anderson, is really stating his case, and I don't blame him. He is upset. I thought that was the third and final out as a broadcaster watching the play, and I have no rooting interest. So
This is the play I
that
got
just
on my.
keeps that
on the,
keeps the keeps the game going.
the play I've got is a tie.
Well, I know what my eyes showed me.
Okay.
Here we go.
That works in
Runners are at the corners. Kenji Bray now comes up to bat. Kenji's had a tough day at the plate to this point.
He has to be
He
the
is
hero.
0 for 4 for Premier West. He has a chance with the tying runs on base to do something big here. He pops it up. It's in foul territory, and it just goes over the fence into the visitors' bullpen area. Kenji Bray now down in the count 0-1. 2 outs. Premier West trailing by 2 runs, 15-13, down to their last out. There's a pitch high and inside for a ball. Can Kenji Bray keep this game going? Noah Carrillo reached a moment ago at first base on a controversial ruling. Noah takes off, ball fouled out of play, and now Kenji Bray and Premier West are down to their final strike yet again. Can Brady Hall get the save and lift his teammate Logan Muskie to a win in one of the most exciting games ever played in this stadium? That's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Kenji Bray goes down swinging, and Brady Hall closes one of the greatest games ever played at Fitzgerald Stadium. It's Rocky Mountain 15, Premier West 13. The Lobos hang on and celebrate a 2-run decision over their neighbors to the south, the Premier West team from Arvada, Colorado. Wow! We will add up all the totals with our post-game wrap as the Post-22 Expos will take on Rocky Mountain in about 30 minutes from now. This was the greatest baseball game, Oliver, that I have ever had a chance to broadcast.
It was incredible.
Wow.
Absolutely. Tops and bottom. Great defense. Some really good hitting from everybody involved. I'll tell you what this means for both teams in the standings. Rocky Mountain will stay in fourth, but they move to 2-1. They'll get a chance to go up 3-1 and get into the upper echelon of the teams after this when they play the Expos. They are probably quite spent, if I were to guess. They've played 2.5 hours of baseball, 2 hours 40 minutes to be exact, but they keep their championship hopes alive. This is a big one. Premier West, unfortunately, does fall to 0-4. They are down there with Papillion, who is 0-3. Papillion will play later today in a rematch against the Pueblo Azteca, and so they will remain in the 7th slot. Rocky Mountain able to squeak that out. They're 2-1, get a chance to go 3-1, and by the end of the day, guaranteed another 3-1 team we can guarantee by the end of the day, 3-1 will be at least good enough for 3rd place going into the final day, which is pretty much all you can ask for, having lost one earlier on that 7-6 loss or 7-5 loss last night to the Hard Hats. Premier loses yet another thriller where they put up a great performance. They just can't get a break.
This game had everything. Let's go ahead and go through the final totals. The Rocky Mountain Lobos now 2-1, as Oliver mentioned, in this outstanding 2023 Firecracker tournament. We have played 10 games out of 23 in the Firecracker tournament, and this game was the greatest game, no question. The Rocky Mountain Lobos 15-13. Let's go ahead and fill you in on the final totals for the Rocky Mountain Lobos. They score 15 runs on 14 hits. They were assisted by a pair of errors committed by their opponent, Premier West. and they stranded a total of 11 runners in this game. For Premier West, they scored 13 runs on 16 hits, and they stranded a total of 12 runners in this game. This game had everything. The two moments that really stand out the most were in the late innings. The two-run game-tying home run by Dalton Berg in the bottom of the sixth inning that made the game 12-12. It was a tremendous home run over the right field wall into Rapid Creek. And then in the seventh inning, to break the 12-12 tie, it was a three-run stand-up double by Walker Tolpa, who went 2 for 3 today and drove in five of his team's 15 runs that made the difference. Congratulations to the Rocky Mountain Lobos. They are 2-1. They are very much alive in the Firecracker tournament, and they will get set to take on the Post 22 Expos, the farm team for the Post 22 Hard Hats here at Fitzgerald Stadium. Unbelievable. What a tremendous morning of baseball as we give way to afternoon baseball coming up next.
So we'll get you a quite a quick break if you're wanting to tune in for that next game, Premier West at the Expos. We will see you in just a minute. We have the other stream set up already on the YouTube. Just when this one ends, hop over to that one, and we'll be live in maybe 10 minutes for our next game between those Post 22 Expos and the Rocky Mountain Lobos. All right, we'll see you in a sec. Thank you. What a game that was.